How are we? Welcome to this week's episode of Heads and Laughs, where sports, mental health, debates and comedy are unscripted. Settle down with your hosts Gareth and Nathan. Let's get stuck in.
Look at the United way in the 90s when they had all our youth coming through, man. It's probably one of the Liverpool the same. Liverpool exactly the same. Your Fowlers, your McManamans, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that coming through. Carragher's, Gerrard, do you know what I mean? All that coming through. Players just unreal.
Did a post about that earlier, talk about like Evan Ferguson and his hat-trick yesterday, and like comparing it to obviously a lot of people now, unless you're like our age or maybe older, you won't really know how good like Michael Owen was or Robbie Fowler back in their day when like they were first coming through. And, yeah, I'd imagine a lot of people are in that position now. He's played for a lot of teams that didn't like him.
Look at him cheeky grin for the Man U supporter. He must forget that goal, will he? Look at that, Tom.
But yeah, it's just crazy. Like in today's market now, like 19, 20-year-old Michael Owen would be like, he'd be the most expensive player to go if someone bought him.
Yeah.
But to say with Robbie Fowler or like Wayne Rooney or someone like that, like, but 18-year-old Wayne Rooney now is like, how old was he when you signed him? 18.
18, yeah.
Like he would be like
150, 200.
Probably more. Like whatever you think Evan Ferguson would cost, add more money to it because he's English. Do you know what I mean? And Wayne Rooney at 18 was, I would say, I don't know if he was a bigger. I'm not going to say he was a better goal scorer, but I'd say Wayne Rooney at 18, everyone knew he was going to the top. I think people do with Evan Ferguson now, but I'd say Rooney has a bigger hype around him anyway.
With his eligibility, you'll still see the same homegrown tax on the likes of Evan Ferguson. Because he is eligible to play for England.
Definitely will, though.
No.
He's Irish, isn't he?
Well, he's Irish. He's from Ireland. He was born there, raised there. Yeah, he won't ever change, but because of his eligibility, it helps for your Champions League and European places.
So he can play for England? I mean, he will be classed as homegrown even after he's 23?
Yeah.
I thought it was only England and Scotland.
No, it's if you could be French or you could be Australian or whatever.
Oh, yeah, because he's come through the academy before a certain age, yeah.
3 years in the academy.
It's like Bellingham doesn't count because he left too early, didn't he?
I'm not sure. Because
we were talking about it.
The age, I don't know if you've got to be on a professional contract or if they're just in the academy.
No, it's got to be. You've got to have played for I think that either the reserves or something for like a certain amount of length, or it's got to be like 3 years or something. I can't remember what it is. Or you've got to if you're hard English. Yeah, I don't know. I remember looking into it a while back. Anyway, let's get started on the transfers because that's what we're here to do anyway. And we're basically going to go through each team and just like have a little chat about the players. However long this takes, I don't know, but we'll figure it out across the way. We're going to start off with Arsenal. Now I don't know how many of you know what players are coming and what have gone out, but I'm going to give you like a brief little synopsis of what the teams have brought in and what they've sold. I won't name every player because, as Gareth mentioned before, if we're reading 40 players out for sold teams like Chelsea, we're going to be here forever. But we'll read out the main ones anyway. So
we'll be here till the fucking January fucking window.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be like a football manager loading, wouldn't it?
Basically, read out the ones that might have a Wikipedia page because there's some proper unknowns on them.
So, for example, Arsenal sold a player called 𝕊𝕡𝕉𝕒 to St. Gallen for undisclosed fee. I've got no idea who he is. So we're obviously not going to discuss it. Anyway, so Arsenal brought in Brentford goalkeeper David Raya, Kai Havertz for 65 million, Declan Rice for 105, Gurien Timber for 38. Some of the notable players that they sold was Bolligan for 34 million. Eden Thierry went out on loan.
They got 34 million for Bolligan.
Me and Gareth again talked about that before.
Exactly what I said, mate.
That's just the market, though. He scored 20 plus goals in a top 6-7 league. It's just the way it is. Matt Turner for 10 million, Xhaka for 21, Pablo Mari on undisclosed fee.
Granit Xhaka, where did he go?
By Leverkusen.
2 months ago, by Leverkusen, yeah. And there's a few loans in there for the younger players that you might have heard of, like Charlie Patino and Marquinhos or some players like that. But yeah, the main ones that have left.
Maitland-Niles gone to Lyon as well.
Yeah, Maitland-Niles went to Lyon on a free, but before we talk about the players he brought in, we've seen a few games this season already now. I've seen a few anyway. I don't know how many you've watched, but I think selling Xhaka was. Do you think they miss him in that midfield?
They're always.
They shouldn't do if they've just spent that money on Rice.
I think Rice is playing a different type of position now, is he? I think Rice is playing more like. I actually don't know where he's playing at the minute because 1 minute Partey's getting asked to play right back and then midfield.
This is what I was about to say. Where's Tom Partey? I like Tom Partey.
Declan Rice said himself today he prefers to play the number 6. So
yeah, he did after the game, didn't he? Yeah.
In an ideal world,
Arteta's still just messing around, isn't he? He's not 100% with what he wants to do yet. And even again, Rice said today in training he's working on the number 8. Well, you're either going in there to be a number 6 or Arteta's trying to mould him into this number 8, and he might be looking at getting someone else in a 6 next summer. But he's still tinkering with it. But I think they miss Xhaka on form, but they certainly don't miss the Xhaka that was a pain in the arse and probably had a bad attitude and chain and stuff like that.
I was surprised Xhaka was only 30.
Yeah, I felt like he's been around for a long time. Like.
Yeah, it feels like he's been around
I
forever.
think he was 33, 34, me, like.
He's still no James Milner, though, is he?
He was just a walking red card at times, though.
If this was like...
They'll miss him because he's like an old-school hard-man midfielder. He will throw himself into challenges.
Yeah.
Something that Rice won't do.
I feel like they've got that amount of money for him as well, based off how successful last season was. If this was like 18 months ago, they're probably getting half of that, if that.
18 months ago, they were fucking pushing him out the door.
They were trying to cancel his contract work. Exactly.
Matt Taylor for Forest, 10 million. I don't know if he's seen any games, but he's looked all right.
He's all right with his feet. I think he's not bad with his feet. Looks decent enough shot stop, all right.
He looked ropey against us last week.
Did he?
Yeah, his handling from long shots was just.
Oh, yeah. I remember you saying that.
It looked terrible. We should have just peppered him with long shots, and he'd eventually spilled something into the middle.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I feel like they've risked it though, like getting rid of some players. Like they got rid of Rob Holder, I think, on deadline day. They've already got Timber injured, and they had this like little conversation on Sky Sports about whether they think that they were ranking basically transfer windows. I watched it yesterday, similar to what we're doing, but we're not doing it into like a rank. We're just going to give them a little rating, they put them in like the A category, which is obviously a perfect window, pretty much. But then when you look at their defence, I know they've signed Timber, but the injury that he's got now, which he's had now for 2 weeks or something, they know that they needed to sign a defender. They've signed a defender, but he's got injured for the point where like he's not going to be available till after New Year at the earliest. Even then, he might miss a lot more of the season. Now they've let Rob Holding go, and they've also got an injury. Do you think I think they've left themselves short, not bringing another centre back in?
The thing is, it was pointless letting Holden go as well for the sake of 4 million quid. You know what I mean? It's not as if they're selling someone for 40 million quid to try and balance the books a little bit. 4 million quid, even if it just seen them through till January, probably, it's probably a little bit silly on their part to let him walk out the door for that money.
Why would you let Kieran Tierney go on loan to Sociedad for a start?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't get it at all.
Tommy Asu got a red card, so he can play centre back, but I'm not doing he can play right back.
He's a right back, but he's not a left back. That's what I mean.
Oh.
He come on today and played left back.
Come on again,
Zinchenko.
And then they've been putting Tom Partey right back, but they can put Ben White centre half for him right back. It's like
I feel like he's messed about with it too much.
Do you think
Ben White's overrated as well?
Do you think he was trying to copy what Pep was doing by moving Tom Partey like how Trent does for how been sort of like moving into the midfield role from the right back sort of, and then
basically do what he's done with kind of like with Stones in a sense, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But that's why Arteta's brought Zinchenko in today.
Yeah.
Because White can't do that, so he's brought Zinchenko in today to try and do it from the opposite side.
He will shift into the midfield from left back because he's a better midfielder than he is left back.
Yeah.
Much better.
I don't think Zinchenko makes Arsenal better, to be honest.
Did you see what he was doing as well, though?
With him playing.
Like when he was playing, Gary Neville was talking about it in commentary. Zinchenko's playing left back. Instead of just doing like the normal thing like you'd expect, slotting into like left midfield, left centre mid, or left 6, whatever he's doing. He was going over to the right side instead.
Yeah, so
like the right side of the midfield. Yeah, I don't get it.
The first 20 minutes, he'd have like 10 touches over on the right-hand side of the pitch.
There must be something there, the reason why they're doing it. I don't know if you've seen...
like an overload sort of type thing.
I don't know. That's what I mean. In the last game that he played the other day against Fulham, I didn't see this live or anything. I just seen a quote. And basically, Arteta said that he tried 32 different formations against Fulham.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
I understand the game's obviously transitioned and all that. And it's getting bigger and better, and everyone wants to be one step ahead and have like basically a plan A, B, C, and D and all that. But it's just silly, isn't it? 32
You're not going to win a football game by playing 32 different formations.
Do you ever think he just talks out of his ass to try and
I said this earlier. I don't like him. Don't like him.
100%.
To try and be as
greasy prick.
Yeah.
He's always going to be in his shadow, though, isn't he? Really, to an extent.
All he's done,
like Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall's shadow.
He's only had one good season. Like, no disrespect to Arsenal, because
then Teeth give off enough light that there's no shadows around.
Eddie Howe's his.
Oh yeah. I think that he's done a good job in a sense of what like where they were at. But when you take into consideration how much money they've spent and how close, like they should have won the league last season. Like they should have. It shouldn't have been any question. I don't care what anyone says. Like, experience. Man City just turn and start doing their thing. You can't go away to Liverpool away to Liverpool when Liverpool are playing shite. I think did they go 2-0 up?
Yep.
Yeah, 2-0 up.
Yeah. And Southampton at home.
And then draw. You can't do that. Like I said this earlier on, we didn't watch along for the Arsenal Man United game. And we're 4 games into the season, and already we're seeing them. We're seeing them do that thing. Like I commented and mentioned about like the Gerrard, do not let this slip. When we lost the league that season, when he slipped over.
Don't you fucking say anything, Tom.
And,
I don't need to. That's a good thing about it.
I can't remember who the game was against anyway. It might have been City, it might have been someone, but Gerrard's got them all in the huddle anyway. He's like, do not let this slip. Let's go. This is it. We're going to win.
The City game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was towards the end of the season. That was like, I can't remember how many games left. There was like 8 games or something, or 6 games. I can't remember, but we're seeing like similar celebrations now, 4 games into the season for Arsenal. Like, commentators were commentating on it last season. Like Gary Neville mentioned it and a few others. Like, you can't use that energy and that like that boost that you need from them wins this early in the season and keep it working all season.
Do you think Arteta's too emotional?
100%.
Do you think? 100%. I think he probably actually takes away from his players by how much he tries to drill into them. I mean, if you've watched a documentary and stuff like that, you'll have seen a bit as well. But we all love to see him being emotional, and especially Klopp's a prime example, Guardiola's another. But I think sometimes he just gets it wrong.
The minerals and the fucking accolades to
they've
be
got
like
the know-how, haven't they? Yeah, like the other year when he did it at Anfield, we were playing terrible. They were winning 1-0, and
then we ended up
involved, and we go and pummel him like 5-1 just because he got the crowd up because he just doesn't use his fucking head. Anyway, back to the transfer window.
Yeah. So they brought in David Raya, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, Timber. We spoke about the players they got rid of. What would you? I'm not going to talk about Timber because he's injured. We all know that 38 million is a good sign, and I think everyone would agree with that, wouldn't you?
100%. If he'd not been injured, he's up there. He's up there with one of the best signings in the summer because of what they needed last season.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think he's, in my opinion, I don't think he's massively great defensively as a centre back, but in that role that they want for someone to come and drop in and do like a Stones role or a Trent role, and then drop back into defence. Like he's better defensively than what Trent is. Not better defensively than Stones, but can play centre back, play right back, drop into the midfield as well. He's like basically
he's got a range of passing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
His impact on them would have been what Martinez was on us last season.
Yeah,
because he can play across that back four and play out from the back and into the midfield.
Yeah. We'll all agree he's a good transfer. David Raya.
Strange one.
Man, this is going to take a lot longer than what I anticipated. This is because we're going so in depth. But I want to ask you, what do you think about having 2 keepers? That could be your number 1.
Mad one, I don't see why.
I don't agree with it at all.
I don't understand why you would put your number 1 under so much pressure.
Yeah.
Because every little tiny mistake now that Ramsdale, like the Fulham goal last week, where he has a bit of a stinker, it's just putting more and more pressure on. Thinking, Ray is sat there now, he's ready. You know what I mean? Like, not good pressure. Just let the goalkeeper go and do his job.
He's had a couple of stinky moments over the last few games.
If it weren't for Ramsdale last year, they would have been nowhere near in the title race either, because he pulled them out the shit in a lot of games.
But at the same time, would it not be counterproductive to have a keeper that you know is good enough sat on your bench? Because that keeper's then just going to lose all his
I had that thought initially, and then I was watching the Ben Foster podcast, and he was speaking to Dave. I can't remember the second name. Dave. He's a goalkeeper coach. He's coached Ben Foster, he's basically a Premier League level goalkeeper coach. And they said it just doesn't make sense to do anything like that. He said every position's absolutely fine, but in goalkeeper you just don't do it. Like he's even like the goalkeeper coach was saying, like he wouldn't want that scenario to happen if he was at a club that was coaching the goalkeepers.
How would you feel if Kelleher had to start 10? Alisson got injured for 3 months and had to start 10, 15 games.
I'd be all right with Kelleher starting 10, 15 games. I wouldn't have Adrian that too.
Yeah.
I think Kelleher's at the level where I think he's good enough to come in to play every blue moon, but I don't think he's good enough to start for us.
Whereas I think Kelleher will be, I don't know if he'll be Liverpool's number one, but he'll be number one somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Expect so eventually, like. Right, I'm gonna go into a different one now. Kai Havertz, 65 million.
Poor.
Yeah.
Terrible business.
Right, so we had a
doesn't
conversation
know where he wants to play him. Doesn't know his best position himself.
I don't think Arteta knows where he wants to play a lot of players. To be honest, not just Havertz. Like everyone's got this big assumption, me included, that eventually you're gonna find this position for Kai Havertz. Going to slot in, and he's going to turn into the player that we see in Leverkusen. But I don't think anyone actually knows where that position is. Is it a number 10? Is it a number 8? Is it playing off a second striker?
There's only one manager who'd get the best out of him.
Who?
The manager that played Fabregas as a false 9 has still got 15 goals out of him.
Pep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played Fabregas as a false 9 at Barca. That's exactly what Havertz is. He can drop deep and link play, but he needs runners off him. He's not good enough. He's not good enough, agile enough, or sneaky enough as an out-and-out striker.
I just don't think he's... I'm getting the thought to be had now, especially today. Shot that he had where he just completely miskicked the ball and not even that much pressure, really. I'm at the position now where I'm just thinking, is he just even that? Is he good? Like, is he good enough? Do you know what I mean? Like,
confidence is just shot a bit.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, it's not like... I get that he scored in the Champions League final and stuff like that, but I just don't know if he's good enough to play at one of the teams that are going to be challenging for the Prem. Do you know what I mean?
He's clearly a confidence player, and like you say, at the minute his confidence shot to bits. But
maybe
whether he gets that back in the Premier League or not, I don't know. Maybe fucking off back to
Germany. Ironically,
like
Tom,
might help him.
With you mentioning Kai Havertz with Pep, do you know what, lad? Do you know before the last couple of seasons with Haaland being there, he would be perfect for that system that they normally play as well. Because they've fannied about with playing like Sterling and Foden and that in there, haven't they? And he'd actually probably do quite well in that system.
He'd do very well in that system.
Last one for Arsenal, Declan Rice. We all know it's a lot of money, but do you reckon he'll be... I know he scored the goal today, but I said before 10, 15 minutes before that, I don't think he actually done that much to affect the game.
I'd say he's a solid 8 out of 10 signing, though, and he, like, any of the top teams in the league would have took him.
The question is,
I think,
we're going to get on to West Ham's transfer a little bit later, but if you're West Ham, would you rather have the players they brought in and replace with him or Declan Rice? Because he brought in Alvarez.
That they've brought in, innit?
I'd rather have the players they've brought in, like.
Yeah, I think Declan Rice. I think he's a good player, but I think
his sale for West Ham, again, it's something we can all relate to and we can all talk about.
Yeah,
it'd be very similar to the sale of Coutinho for you.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's such a massive fee that you can rebuild the spine of a team for it. And gives yourself something. You give yourselves a base to work from.
I just don't know if Declan Rice is that good though. I don't know if he's that, like, when we saw Coutinho was going to Barcelona, one of the best teams in the world, and Declan Rice might become better than what he is, but I feel like them fucking about with him, trying to turn him into an 8 when he wants to play as a 6 is again something that might.
100%. I think I'd say there's probably a 25% English tax on him.
Yeah, definitely.
If you take off, if you get.
It's not even just English tax now. You got to have Prem tax and midfield tax and everything now. Like there's fucking
number 6 tax.
Yeah.
A proper 6. But if you get
what's one of them?
Spanish, you wouldn't know anymore. But if you get a Declan Rice that's Spanish or French or Brazilian, he's costing you 60, 70 million. And that's probably good business.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's good business. But because he's English, because they're back in the Champions League, it was always going to be the plus.
Yeah.
Always.
I think it's obviously boss business for West Ham. 105 million for any players, especially at their level as well. And I think it'll prove to be good business for Arsenal as well, as long as Arteta doesn't fuck about with him too much and lets him, play his game. He's a good player. You can see it there, and like you say, the price tag's not his fault, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like you look at 𝕍𝕬𝕐 there for 115 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's
mad sport. Is it?
Chelsea.
Anyway, right, I'm going to ask you to what would you rate Arsenal's transfer window out of 10?
I give it a 7.
I would as well. That's what I was thinking, because I just think 65 on Havertz.
Yeah.
I can get away with the Declan Rice one, but the Havertz one's just. He didn't do anything at Chelsea. How come you're going to go then spend 65? Chelsea would have been like, "Aye, thanks, cheers."
It's a gamble, What about you, Tom?
6.5.
Yeah. It's mad, like you said. On Sky Sports, they had a Man United fan and an Arsenal fan rating it, and they put them in the A category, which is the best one. But
if it wasn't for the fact they've got 34 million for Balogun, I'd have been a 6.
Yeah.
Because I haven't right now.
Yeah, I think
if they hadn't got 4 million for Rob Holding, I'd give it a 3.
Weird business that to get 34 million for him.
And 20 odds for Xhaka as well, though.
Yeah.
21.5 for Xhaka is good.
The only problem is, he took that money and went and spunked it on Kai Havertz. You know what I mean? So, I'd give them a 7.5. I think we're all being a little bit harsh. I think if Timber was in and out, he'd probably be playing better football and we'd be having a slightly different conversation.
Who spunked more there? Arsenal and Havertz 65 million or United on Mount for 60 million?
Havertz by a mile.
Yeah.
It's not even close. As much as I
would say Mount, because Mount's not even getting a game. He's injured.
It's not. No, you know what? I don't think.
Look at what Mount's done for the last 2 years without injuries compared to what Havertz has done, and I think 60 million for Mount is better business than 65 for Havertz because you're going to get you're going to get performances out of Mount.
Yeah.
When he fits, when he's
where's he going to play him though?
Right now, after 4 games though, there's nothing between them, is there?
Where's he going to play?
I don't think that's down to Mount, though. I think that's down to the system and him getting played out.
Yeah.
I think we can all sit here and talk about Havertz finding the right position for him. We know where Mount should be getting played, but unfortunately, he's got a player in front of him that's just better than him. Simple as that. Right, let's move on to Aston Villa anyway. Incomings, Pau Torres, 33 million. We look shaky as fuck today against us, by the way.
Slow as fuck.
Moussa Diaby, this undisclosed, I think it was 50 million. Rico Richards from West Brom, Youri Tielemans free, 𝕍𝕖𝕟 on loan, and 𝕍𝕬𝕐𝕟 on loan. A couple of players they got rid of. Cameron Archer scored 2 goals the other day, didn't he? 18 million.
Yeah.
I don't know how you pronounce his name, but I think it's 𝕊𝕡𝕟𝕒 or 𝕊𝕡𝕟. Undisclosed free to Hull. And do you know what? I watched him when he was when they were not used. Well, yeah, when you were playing that cup mark. Premier League. What was it? Premier League or Premier League? I don't know what it was. On the summer anyway. The Premier League series thing. And he looked decent when he played. When he come on, I'm surprised he sold him. Nakamba or undisclosed. Ashley Young free. Anyone else that I'm missing here?
Coutinho's on the verge of going, isn't he?
Here's the one that popped into my head, which is not a big transfer, but I think they paid 20 million for it. Remember Wesley they signed, the Brazilian striker?
Big lads, yeah.
Joined Stoke for free, which is a bit of a mad one.
Getting them from somewhere in Belgium, did they?
Yeah, Morgan Sanson on loan as well to Nice, which is a bit of a mad. Them 2 players, when he signed them, are decent quality.
Did Gerrard bring that Sanson in, or was he already there?
He did.
I can't remember.
He did.
I think he might have come either when he come in or the season before when he signed about fucking 10 players, didn't he, when he sold Grealish?
I think in terms of Villa's incomings, Diaby's a player, even again today. I
think Pau Torres is as well. I think Tielemans is. I think
Pau Torres is so slow, and I don't.
He's a decent player though, and once he gets into the system of work and how they want to play, I think he'll do all right. I don't think he's I'd put him on a similar level to what when you signed Botman. I think, in fact, no, I'll put Torres further ahead maybe. Torres has been linked with Man United for the last 2-3 years. and he was probably the centre back that I thought they were going to sign instead of getting Martinez. But I think if Man United didn't go with Erik ten Hag last summer, I think Torres would probably play for them now. I just think that.
I think he's a poor centre back. Me, like I think Botman's.
I think he's all right. I don't think he's amazing. I think he's all right. I think he will get better. I think Moussa Diaby. I just don't get why other teams weren't sniffing around him. Especially,
I think Diaby's a better sign. I think Diaby's a better signing than Doku is for City. I'd much rather have Diaby, 100%.
Oh, much better signing.
His qualities, his feet are so quick. When he's
I'll tell you what,
Joe,
if he didn't sign for Aston Villa yet, and we sold Salah 2 months ago, I reckon we would have went in for him because he could play a couple of positions, and I think he would have done all right.
Yeah, definitely. I thought he was bigger than he is. He's fucking tiny.
Yeah, we were doing a watch along today, and I had to have the match on my iPad because obviously it was a 2:00 kickoff. We went on the telly, and I just couldn't tell the difference between him. We played well, yeah. We deserved to win. We probably could have scored more. Darwin Núñez hit the bar at the post. And
did he?
Yeah. Kinda. It's debatable whether you class it as missing a sitter as well, when he had the header at the back post. There was a lot of pace on the ball. But like I said, Pau Torres.
He missed a sitter.
Pau Torres just.
At least he was onside. Small margins.
All I'm saying is, I'm not going to say it wasn't a sitter. I'm not going to say it was, because you could say it was, and you could make an argument for why it was, and then you could obviously try and argue it and say the ball was coming at a high speed, but he maybe could have done better.
Sitters this week, and he bagged 2 last week when he went down to 10 men.
To be fair, one of the goals that we scored was he hit the post and it come back and it's the one and went in. Like he had a good game. But what I was saying about Pau Torres, Pau Torres was getting absolutely ruined by Salah and Núñez. He just couldn't keep up with them, which is going to be interesting because.
Not many can, though, to be fair, can they? There's probably two.
Yeah, it happened against Newcastle as well, because they had to make a few changes, didn't they? I think they had to bring Carlos and Pau Torres on. And we've seen the same today, like especially I'd say points in a game where he seemed to just like play this ridiculously high line at certain points a lot through the game. Like he'll change it and maybe go a little bit deeper, a little bit further forward. And like I said, it just.
Do you think it's through like the transitions of play and stuff that they're doing?
It might be, but you couldn't pick worse teams. Like when you're playing against someone who's got players like fucking Callum Wilson and Isaac, and then Darwin Núñez and players like that who are just their dream is living on the last man and waiting for that ball to be played. They will take 10 offsides if it gives them one chance. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I just feel like they will do well this season against teams that are like outside the top 8.
That's not 10 offsides. That's 10 chances before you take them.
I'm not taking any. I'm not biting. I think they'll do well this season against certain teams that are outside the top 8, but like when they're playing against a low block and stuff. But I think they could against Liverpool and Newcastle, they conceded 8 goals and scored 1. Do you know what I mean?
I think in terms of the transfer window, not mass amounts have gone out really, have they? But
I think they've done good business.
Villa's one of them teams.
I think it's just
Villa very similar to Newcastle in terms of your outgoings. You haven't really got that much that can go out and bring in decent money. They got 18 mil for Archer there.
They should have though. Like they've signed up Wesley for like 20 million. He should be getting a fee for him. He went on a free transfer to Stoke. They're in the Championship.
Yeah, he's shite, isn't he?
They got rid of Aaron Ramsey as well, who's Jacob Ramsey's brother, and the Canberra, like I said, went out on.
In terms of that Wesley, they're probably looking at. I bet he was probably on 70, 80 grand a week. So they've got rid of that off the wage.
I just want to put it out there and say it again. Sky Sports have done the same thing again, where they put 2 players in one part.
Top and bottom. I think Campbell went on a free as well. He ended up on a free.
Why have they put undisclosed? It's the same before. Like we were looking through Brighton, weren't we? Like what would you give Aston Villa? I think Aston Villa had a good window. What would you give them out of 10?
7.
7.
When you look at the players they brought in, I'd give it a solid 8.
Where they were last season, now it's class business.
I'd give it an 8.5.
What they did last season to the players, they've not lost particularly anything massive, but they've added some real quality to the team. You'd have expected better from them, but give them till the end of November, and you might see them turn it around.
Yeah,
and the players they've got.
I don't think mass amounts stand out of them incomings though, apart from Diaby and Zaniolo.
Pau Torres is good enough when he gets going to sign. If he would, it wouldn't have been like out of this world if City would have signed him in the summer or Man United or Liverpool or someone.
But based on right now.
But I said the last time.
But then for Aston Villa, when he finished like 7th or something. Tielemans on a free transfer. Zaniolo and 𝕍𝕤𝕒 on deadline day on loans. Great business. Yusuf Diaby he could be up there, one of the signings of the season, but like Maddison and that, I think they've done. I'd give them a 9. I said 8.5, going 9.
I'd say Tielemans on a free. Free is good business.
They
but
didn't bring another striker in, did they?
No, but Diaby can play as a centre forward.
I just think if Watkins
getting rid of Cameron Archer. I'm close to giving him a 10. Cameron Archer leaving's probably what's knocking it down. Because I think that I think they've got maybe a buyback clause or like a sell-on fee, but sell-on percentage. But I think you've got rid of a couple of players that I think they should have kept. But at the end of the day, if they're going out and spending 35 million on Torres and 50 million on Diaby, they need to bring money in. Simple as that. Do you know what I mean?
Because we snotted them 3-0 today, I'll give them a 7.1.
Right. Next one, Bournemouth. We were talking about these before. They've actually brought in some really good players. Alex Scott for 25 million. Young English lads. Max Aaron, 7 million. Interesting one. I feel like he's been destined for the Premier League to another team other than Norwich for like the last 4 years. Not going to pronounce his name. I forgot, but
Roman Favour.
Roman Favour, we're going to call him, yeah. I had to use Google Translate before to play it to me, and I can't remember.
The
listeners will be using Google Translate for fucking Mark's accent when they're listening to this.
Hot kettle fucking black, Mr. Scouser.
Justin Clive,
I'm not Scouser, lad.
Ahmed Traore, 20 million. Milos Kerkez, ever seen him play? Tom, you might know if you play Football Manager, also. 15 million. Radu from Inter on loan. Tyler Adams, 24 million. I think it's a good buy. And Lewis Sinisterra on loan as well. You know what? I think there's some good players there. I feel like we were talking about it before. They spent like 100 million or something, and I think they need to do it. You haven't really got any big noticeable outgoings apart from. This is a weird one.
𝕊𝕐𝕒 going on a free to Palace.
Yeah, 𝕊𝕐𝕒 to Palace is a big one. He had a really good game, didn't he? Against who did he play? Was it no, not Wolves. Arsenal? Did he play Arsenal? He did, didn't he? And he won. Arsenal went down to 10 men. 𝕊𝕐𝕒. All right, so they have got rid of a few. I take it back. They got rid of Jaden. They got rid of Jaden Anthony. They got rid of Stanislas. Maybe a couple of years ago, you'd say 𝕊𝕐𝕒 and Dembele.
Anthony would have been part of like the Adams deal or something, there, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he was.
I think they've had a solid little win there.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they've done it. Like they must have seen enough over the last couple of weeks, to like into the season already, to think we're going to stay up this season. Because we seen last season why Scott Parker got sacked, because he was complaining about not getting any money suspended. You know what I mean?
They have had the takeover though, haven't they?
I'm not sure, have they?
That Michael B. Jordan or whatever he's called.
Oh yeah. But I still don't think they spend that money if they have any inkling that they think they might go down this season. I think them players could keep them up as well.
They've got good players there though, haven't they? I mean, Ryan.
Yeah,
Chris,
they have. They've got.
you know what I mean? They've got a young kid centre back. I think he's Ukrainian, 𝕊𝕐𝕒. Football Manager again.
No, he's a good player who they've got who goes a bit unnoticed. We were speaking about him a few times. Billing.
Aye, Philip Billing.
Brilliant.
Aye.
He's a player that could do.
I'm surprised they've let 𝕊𝕐𝕒 go. Left back.
Oh yeah.
He was really good last season.
Chavez is gone. I think it's incoming wise, Bournemouth there. For Bournemouth, you can't ask more from a window than that.
You've signed players there that other teams could have looked at. Like we were looking at Chelsea, we were going to sign Tyler Adams, and we were thinking that we were going to have a go at getting him, and I would have been happy with that. Maybe not to start. Well, you never know right now. Like, to be fair, Endo's done all right, but Lewis Sinisterra is a good sign as well. He looked good when he played for.
Do you think it's a bit of a risk when you're bringing that many players in, though?
It is, but I think with the lack of spending that they had last season, they had to do it.
Yeah.
Last season, they probably thought we're down and out. That's why we're not spending the money. Scott Parker's probably been told, listen,
because
we don't think we're going to stay up, so we're not going to spend. Simple as that.
You just don't know what team you're picking from one week to the next. Do you know what I mean? To an extent, and
like I said, you've got rid of a few players like Jefferson Lerma going out. They basically brought Tyler Adams in, haven't they, to replace him in a sense?
Yeah.
The only other reason I could think. The only other reason I could think they've sort of spent that money is because they thought they might have been getting big money in for Solanke, because there was rumours, wasn't there?
There's a couple of teams.
35, 40 million quid. So maybe, but again, his goals, if they're going to stay in the league, they need his goals. So he's, it's worth
I
keeping hold of him.
I don't reckon that's the case, because they would have bought a striker, wouldn't they? And they haven't bought a striker.
Will he get 15 goals this season? I don't think so.
Blanky, if he gets the right service, I think he will. I think he's a good player. I think he's
he's 10. I don't think you get 15 though.
Maybe.
I might be wrong. I'm not saying he's not a good striker.
10 will be enough for a team like Bournemouth to stay up them. Yeah. What would you rate their window? What would you give them out of 10? I think they've done quite well, to be fair.
I'm going to give them an 8.5.
I'll go with an 8.
8.
Yeah, I think they've done all right.
With the players they brought in, they should be comfortable this season.
Aye.
I think Layman is a big miss, though. I think Layman is a big miss, though.
Adams is plenty good enough to replace him, though.
Yeah. Right, Brentford. He brought in Nathan Collins, 23 million. Romeo Beckham, we're just going to ignore that because he's not going to get a game. Mark Flecken, 11 million. He isn't, though, is he? Like, it's just like, why? It annoys me that Sky Sports to put him down on incumbents. He's never going to get a game for the first team.
You know when he'll get a game, don't you? When it's a big bank holiday weekend in April or something. Bank holiday weekend, they'll get all the fans in.
Yeah.
Because Beckham's there, they'll get him stabbed down and shit.
Yeah, loads of fucking executives in the boxes and all that. And they're looking for responses. All
about the moolah.
He's not that bad of a player. He's nowhere near good enough to play in the Premier League, though. I watched him a couple of times.
People want to say
he's Miami's second team, wasn't he?
He's squinting up. And 8 more of them, and you might.
Right, they brought in Kevin 𝕊𝕐𝕬𝕐, as I say his name, for 20 million, but he was on loan from he was on loan last season. They've just signed him. 𝕊𝕡𝕠𝕣𝕥𝕤 on loan for Everton's an interesting one.
If you need goals, it's the last person you sign, isn't it?
They're getting a minus for that.
I don't think he's there to score goals for them, though. I think, like we said, Ian Gareth was speaking about it before we started. He's played for Thomas Frank before. He got a good tune out of him, do you know what I mean? So Matt's probably going to try and do similar there.
He's not even one of them players, though, where you can convince your chairman, I need a striker. He scores 4 goals a season, but I really want him because he'll play on the wing if they ask him to.
Yeah.
He wouldn't. He's a moody bastard, and he wouldn't even do that for you.
He's shite, isn't he?
Yeah.
You got rid of Pontus Janssen as well, which is an interesting one. Who else did he get rid of? David Raya. Sergi Canos as well. Went to Valencia undisclosed fee.
Valencia?
Yeah.
What? Fair enough. Mad.
Thought he would have got rid of more players, man. Who else, to be fair? Like, I'm not going to lie, do you know what? I don't think they've done that good. Like, I think Nathan Collins is a good signing. Mark Flecken, is he an upgrade on Rare? That's a question to ask. Kevin 𝕊𝕐𝕬𝕐, they already had him last season, so I feel like it's hard to, like, say a player's going to improve them when he's already been there for 12 months.
Who's that one on the list under Mark Flecken, Nate?
Isu Kim. No idea who he is, not going to lie.
If you really want to laugh, where did they sign him from?
Well, I'd answer your question, but my iPad just died.
Oh, lad. 𝕊𝕐𝕟𝕒.
Yeah.
𝕊𝕐𝕟𝕒.
What would you just give them out of 10? I don't think they've done good business, to be honest. Like,
I'll give it a 5.
4.5. It's not even
5.
It's not even a ticking over consolidation window. That.
Yeah. I think the fact that they've started the season quite well helps the fact that they probably haven't had to do as much business, but
yeah. The thing is, as well, though, they would never have to do as much business as like a Bournemouth because Brentford have shown over the last 2-3 years that they've already got quality there. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've been
surprised how well they've started.
League.
I know they're not fucking doing absolutely amazing, but I'm surprised how well they are doing without Ivan Toney. I think they've imagine how well they're going to finish the season when they're coming back as well.
Well, it's 1 win, 3 draws, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not bad for them though. I don't think. I think even irrelevant to who they're playing, I think missing Ivan Toney, I think that's still decent, like a decent amount of points.
And they've lost the number 1 goal. They've lost the first choice goalkeeper.
Yeah. I think I'd say a 5 should be out. Brighton
Nothing
next.
to scream and shout about anyway.
No. Carlos 𝕊𝕐𝕬𝕐, is it? That's how you say his name? He's a believer.
We'll let you go with it, lad.
Let's be honest. let's be
Never seen
honest,
him play.
we don't know who any of these fuckers are. They've
You've got to be world class.
They plucked them all from nowhere, and they'll all be sold for 80 million each next one.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
somehow
we know who James Milner is, lad.
Yeah, we know who James Milner is. But no, they've signed some good players. Like I personally think these are 10 out of 10. I know they've got rid of two of the best players, but to get Ansu Fati on loan from Barcelona is just like, it's mad. It just doesn't seem like something that should happen in football. But like, the more the season's going on now, the more it feels right that like them types of players are going to Brighton. Do you know what I mean? But it also seems like it's
at the end of the day.
Yeah, they do. They play fantastic football. Like they're probably.
It speaks volumes for the manager though as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think 𝕊𝕓𝕣𝕧 like, if I could pick any managers to manage Liverpool outside of Klopp, he would be in my top 5, like 1,000,000%. I think he's.
You wouldn't grumble if you appointed him.
If you ask,
you wouldn't be bothered if you appointed 𝕊𝕬𝕣𝕧.
No, not at all. No, not at all. Yeah.
You look at what the Italians say about him, though. They absolutely despise him.
Why? I've no idea about this.
Yeah, he plays good footy.
Does he play good football?
Because he doesn't build a team to be defensively sound.
Yeah, he doesn't play like the Italians.
Maybe
he's like the polar opposite of Conte, isn't he?
Yeah, and they genuinely hate him as a manager in Italy. It's why he was Shakhtar at some point, somewhere in Ukraine.
Yeah.
He was in Ukraine anyway, and then he come back to Italy, but they didn't like him, and they said as good as he can be now, he'll never get an Italy job, for instance.
He played for a lot of teams as well. He was at Shakhtar before these. He was at Palermo, Benevento, Sassuolo, Shakhtar the next, and then Brighton. But he is like, in my opinion, if he stays at Brighton up until Klopp or Pep leaves, he will be the next manager of one of them teams. He's that good. That's how highly I rate him. I think everyone's probably banking on maybe Arteta being the next City manager, probably, aren't they? I think 𝕊𝕬𝕧 plays really good football. But yeah, they brought in 𝕊𝕬𝕑, they brought in 𝕊𝕠𝕐𝕣𝕣, is it? The goalkeeper, I can't pronounce his name. They brought in ℍ𝕖𝕟𝕒 as well, says undisclosed, but according to what we've all seen, it's meant to be free.
Yeah, I'm very sure it's a free transfer.
Yeah, 𝕄𝕖𝕟𝕒, João Pedro, James Milner free, Slater, Atom, Ansu Fati on loan, out, McAllister 35 million, Robert Sanchez 25 million, Moises Caicedo 115 million. Anyone else of note? Undav really on loan to Stuttgart. All I can see, really.
Yeah.
175 million made.
Just a ridiculous way of running a club, but it's perfect the way they do it.
175 million in for them three, yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at what they've spent, 20, 30, 40.
He probably spent
Pedro, was he 30 million, was he? I think
something like that. He probably spent 100 million.
Like... Yeah, you look
at I think they've got some players.
They brought them players in, and you look at the likes of Fati, João Pedro looks all right, and then, you know, in terms of the hoods and then that experience with Milner and around the dressing room on a free, like, they just seem to fucking get it right, don't they? Simple as that. Yeah. They just seem to get it right. And you look at the start of the season, it says the same thing, apart from the blip against West Ham.
Yeah. Even at West Ham, though, they probably should never have been losing after they fucking dealt about 20 shots and doing about 900 more passes than them.
I'd give their window a solid 8.5.
I'd go higher. I'd go 9.5. I think.
I'd go 9.
The fact that they've, like, all the players that they brought in, like that 𝕊𝕬𝕑, whatever you pronounce his name, I've never, ever seen him play. I'm not going to pretend to do, but based on what people are saying about him who have seen him play, I think that he's just going to be basically a carbon copy of what Caicedo has been. You reckon that he is destined to go to the top? But for me,
not
it's
to
just
Chelsea.
The fact that they've made 150 million off Caicedo. I think Alexis McAllister, to us, that price is very low, but at the same time, you could have got nothing for him, potentially, because he could have not signed the contract before the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? So I still think that's decent business from them. But just Ansu Fati, it just doesn't seem like it's.
But I don't know. I didn't get how Sky Sports were saying it was 55 for McAllister, and then it was saying 35 on something. Do you know what I mean?
The fucking
we had a bit of a conversation about it before. It's because if you read the article that they put out when we signed him, it says some sources suggest it could rise to 55 million.
Right.
Their sources is Andy Naylor, who's the
shittest one.
Oh, he's not shit. He's quite reliable for Brighton. But on this transfer alone, he just didn't get anything right. And basically, he is the athletic correspondent for Brighton, and he's the only person that said that. And he said it before the transfer was even done or anything. And then once they've signed, he hasn't done anything. All he's done is share James Pearce's article, which quotes 35 million. I don't know about you, but I don't know if has anyone ever seen a deal where a player's got a release clause and it's got add-ons into it?
No. £20 million worth of add-ons
not
as
that
well.
I know of anywhere. It just doesn't seem for me.
Not like
the only possible instance that could have happened if it's being miscommunicated is if it was 55 million, Liverpool pay 55, but they're paying 35 up front, and I'm going to pay 20 million down the line. But I can't see it. I think 35 million is probably right, and I think it's right based on the fact that the journalists I've seen reported regarding the pool are quite accurate. Brighton never disclosed their fees, so it'd be hard to get any information out of them. So there's no chance
just got 115 for Caicedo. I don't think they'll be particularly bothered about 20.
I think I think the fact that they've got all that money, like Robert Sanchez is like, if he stayed this season, he was like third choice keeper, wasn't he? 25 million off Chelsea's a good bit of business. I'd give them an hour and a half. I think again, like I said, we can only predict what's going to happen because all these players could be terrible, they could be amazing, they could go and win the league. We never know, but
no chance.
I'll give an 8.5 now because we don't know half the players. It could drop down to a 6 if they go on a bit of a bad run and finish in 10th. It could be a 10 if they finish top 6 again.
If they get any type of European football this season after making about 70-80 million profit,
well,
it's a great season. Do you know what I mean?
Even if they finish 10th and go on a little run in the Europa League.
Yeah.
Brighton. I know we've touched on it in an earlier episode on Heads and Laughs, but it's Brighton.
Yeah.
To finish 10th in the Premier League, to even be in Europe, never mind have a little run there. And maybe a little cup run or something like that. Yeah. Absolute solid season.
Could you imagine if they won it?
I know, yeah.
Mark, you're funny, you lad.
Right, Burnley. They bought in 𝕊𝕡𝕉𝕒 from Swansea, Darren O'Shea. Can't pronounce his name, but it's the old goalkeeper that used to play for Liverpool, Lawrence Figueroa, is it? He used to play for Liverpool, didn't he, once upon a time? Nathan Redmond, Sander Berg, Aaron Ramsey again from also got the I don't know if I said James Trafford. He brought that 𝕍𝕖𝕟𝕒𝕒 as well. I think he was already at them last season, wasn't he? Was he on loan last season? Possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah. You've got a lot of players there. I've got they've signed someone called Logan Pike for United. Do you know who he is, Tom?
Nope.
No.
Never heard of him.
You've signed Jacob Bruno Larson as well. Or Bruno Larson, sorry. I know a little bit about him. They've got rid of a few players. They got rid of Ashley Barnes. Did what's his name leave? Mike Horse has gone to Hoffenheim on loan. I wonder how well he's doing this season. I don't know if a Burnley have done enough to stay up. You're funny, you man.
Any chance?
Oh. But, what would you say? What would you say about Burnley's transfer window?
Mark, I'll give him a 10 now.
What's that?
I think
to be honest, it's quite. There's a lot of unknown there for me personally. I mean, I only seen really Trafford in the under-21s World Cup.
Yeah.
Nothing really stands out, to be honest with you. So
it's more when you look at where they're buying or signing these players from.
Yeah.
If they were any good, they'd be.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I watched James Trafford 30 times last season. He is not a £19 million goalkeeper.
More or less.
No. He's tiny, isn't he?
He's just not good.
He's tiny.
I've never watched them other than the Euros or the 21 Euros or whatever
I go watching Bolton with my dad, and I went to probably 15, 18 away games, few home games, and I went to Wembley and watched them and stuff. And he's just not good. Not 19 million quid worth of good, no. Because you could kind of understand it if a team like Brighton were taking that gamble on him.
Yeah.
They are gonna stay up. They are gonna. But this is Burnley, who have spent £19 million on a goalkeeper and then signed his backup from Leyton Orient for free.
Yeah.
How much did they pay for 𝕊𝕐𝕚𝕐?
It says undisclosed, but I think he was like 15 or 20 million or something.
I
think I'm going to put a conspiracy
know
theory out there, like, but company, Man City, financial doping, 19 million, James Trafford. You know, I'm not Einstein anymore, like, but you know, you can do the maths.
You cross the season, not the eyes, lad.
I thought you were doing a karate chop.
Yeah. Has to be chopping all the numbers up. I can't give them a rating because I don't know enough about some of the players. Like Lawrence Vigor, like I said, or whatever you pronounce his name. He was in Liverpool's academy or like the reserves about 6 or 7 years. I don't even know. It was that long ago. I don't even know when it was.
But then they've got him from Leyton Orient, so that says everything, doesn't it? I'm giving him a 5 straight down the middle.
What I'll say is he had a team of the season on FIFA not long ago. I don't know if it was this year or last year. Nathan Redmond's a weird one as well from Besiktas on a 3.
Yeah.
I'd put this as a 3, and the only team that are going to come close is Sheffield United.
Yeah, I'd say that.
You don't sign. Let's sell your best players. Let's sell them to a relegation.
Yeah, it's not even just that. Like they've sold it. Like 𝕊𝕐𝕚𝕐 probably wasn't even their best player. They sold 2 more players. Like they sold what's his name? Didn't they? I can't remember his name now. I think it's a striker. Yeah, I'd go 4.
Well, if Nathan Redmond came back with a full head of hair, you clearly just know he's went for a 1-year contract to get a hair transplant in Turkey and come back.
Right, we're on to the big boy now, Chelsea.
Oh, do we have to?
Yeah, I'm gonna go through all players that have come in.
Don't go through their outgoings.
No, I'm gonna go through a few outgoings just so he's got like just so we can basically understand how wild it is. So, Sassi for 38.5, Nicholas Jackson 30 million, and Kunku 52. Hendry Piers, I can't pronounce his name, 17 million. Robert Sanchez 25, Casado 115. Agokwu, is it? How you pronounce his name? 23.5. Gabriel from Santos, undisclosed, no idea. Matos from Norwich, no idea. Moreira Benfica, undisclosed. Samuel Smith from Everton, don't even know who he is.
Sure.
Dwayne Richards, Phoenix All-Stars Academy. Romeo Lavia, 58 million. Evert, is it? Washington, 17 million. Petrovic, 14 million. Who, by the way, is meant to be a really good goalkeeper. Cole Palmer, 42.5 million. Terms of players going out, Hammett 65, which is absolute robbery towards Arsenal. Kovacic 30 million, Loftus-Cheek 17 million, Mason Mount 60, Pulisic 18. Lewis Hall on loan with the option to buy next year for 30, is it? Lukaku. The fact that Lukaku in 2023 is still going out on loan from Chelsea is fucking ridiculous. Callum Hudson-Odoi for 5 million.
He feels 18 again, doesn't it?
Why did it surprise you?
Callum Hudson-Odoi 5 million, Ampadu undisclosed, Koulibaly undisclosed, Mendy undisclosed, Aubameyang 3. 𝕊𝕐𝕚𝕐 3, Kante 3, Bakayoko released, Fofana on loan to Union Berlin. They already signed him in like January, I think. Kepa to Real Madrid on loan.
That's Fofana. They reckon he's on 200k a week as well.
Yeah, Ziyech on loan. Andre Santos got on loan to Nottingham Forest. They signed him now. Tino Ajon, Portsmouth on loan. Diego Moreira's got on loan to Lyon as well. I just want to put it out there, yeah. The amount of players that they've got rid of for either on loan or free that they've spent loads of money on is fucking ridiculous.
46 outgoings.
That is
46.
Like, for anyone that listening or watching this now, I've just skipped at least 75% of the players they've sold, by the way, or got rid of. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
I would
16 in, 46 out.
How Chelsea what?
Aren't you only supposed to be able to loan out 8 players at a time?
I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's the same for. I know they put something in place because this. Go back to what we said at the start or before we started recording. Can't remember what it was now. Chelsea have done this thing where they bought loads of players before, like it's been something they've done for a while, young players, and then loan them out. And it got to a point where like they were having to crack down on it because Chelsea were having like a ridiculous amount of players out on loan, weren't they?
Yeah.
You've got more than 8 there anyway. There's I'd say at least 15, 20 there on loan.
Because I'm pretty sure at one point, I think Chelsea and Juventus had like 40 players each out on loan.
Yeah.
I think Juventus
That's what I mean. It was only recently that they brought something in, wasn't it? Like over the last 4 or 5 years or something.
Was it
last year? I don't remember if it was that long ago. Like, but
yeah, I'm just looking now.
Yeah.
It came into force.
This is probably more. This is probably more for Forest, but I'll tell you what, $5 million for Callum Hudson-Odoi is a great little bit.
18 for Pulisic got me. 18 for Pulisic. I think he's a good player.
I think they've got rid of a lot of good players. I think like there's a lot of players here that they've sold that they could have sold a teams in the Prem could have bought.
I would have took Pulisic over Harvey Barnes.
The problem is, if you just go and buy Pulisic, you're probably paying double because it's a Premier League club who will challenge him with them.
Yeah.
It's like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. How old is he now? Like 26 or something. I don't know how old he is, but 17 million for him to Milan turns into 25 or 30 for someone else in the Prem. Do you know what I mean?
Beast.
Yeah.
I think the player for me that they've got rid of, which baffles me, is I think Kovacic. Getting rid of him when they've got no experience really in the midfield. 30 million. I know they needed to turn over this money because of the situation after him, but he just, if he can stay fit, he's a very good player. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but did they need to go and spend nearly 60 million on Lavia when they had Kovacic? You know what I mean?
Of course he didn't. But the problem is now 𝕊𝕡𝕣𝕥𝕤's playing Monopoly, lads. It's simple as that. Like, no joking aside, he is.
All he needs to do is grow attached.
They were interested in Lavia when Liverpool were interested, but the price was 50 million. They've paid 8 million more than what Southampton were asking. Why? Because he didn't want Liverpool to get him. Yeah. It's as simple as that. But the problem is, all Chelsea fans are like on Twitter over the last month or so because they have beat Liverpool to a few players. They beat other clubs. They beat Chelsea, Arsenal to _Mudryk in January. All Chelsea fans are buzzing like, oh yeah, we're winning the window and all that. Like, yeah, but you're gonna end up in the fucking mud in like 2 years. Like, it's all just gonna come crashing down.
Yeah,
like it's all good for all these players, but it's not gonna be good when you've got a transfer embargo and you can't play European football and you can't buy any more players, and ultimately, £150 million 𝕍𝕬𝕣 is not a £150 million player. It just baffles me. Like, I
think they're buying all these young players and spending this money now because they're just basically saying we are going to get a transfer ban. I think
that's exactly what they're doing.
And they're just going, but we'll have that many younger players in who then might be 23, 24.
You've tried to bring down the extortionate amount of money that they have gone over FFP. They're trying to bring it down, I think, to a point where they could try and get a bit of leeway if any restrictions come in. But they know what's going to happen. And the problem is, if they don't pass, which they shouldn't, because they're in a bad position in terms of like FFP and stuff. Again, I don't know what the situation is, how it's going to get looked at by different government bodies.
7-year contracts and all that, lads. It's fucking bollocks.
Because at the end of the day, they're not in European football, so they haven't got that to deal with yet in terms of what's going to happen with that. The Premier League rules and restrictions of how much you can spend and lose and all that. They're playing with fire.
It smells a bit like Mike Ashley to me, 7-year contracts and that.
I just think that they're in a position where
they're running a risky game. They're playing a risky game because they were only fined in June, July this year, weren't they?
Yeah. They had a ban not long ago, about 3 years ago, didn't they? When Lampard
was there, yeah.
But their next one won't be a transfer ban. It'll be a ban from European football.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like the problem
is, you're going to have players there, a bit like we have at United. That if you don't qualify for the Champions League, you have to take pay cuts.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, well, I want to go now.
Yeah.
Look at the situation. Look at the situation with Moises Caicedo. Like, Liverpool have come in with an offer. I don't care what anyone says. Liverpool's a better project than what Chelsea is. Anyone can, you can debate it all day long. Liverpool are a bigger club. They've won more. They're a better club. They've got a better team. They've got a better manager. It's facts. The only thing they haven't got a better appealing thing for footballers, young players. We're not giving them 7-year contracts, and we're not giving them lots of money.
London, though, isn't
Chelsea
it?
Will. Yeah, that's one thing I will say. London as well, but I don't know if you've seen Romeo Lavia comment a few days ago where he's one of the fellas who was like reporting very accurately on the transfer. I remember his name. A Belgian journalist anyway come out and said that like people have spoke to Lavia and he's basically said he didn't want to go to Chelsea. He wants to go to Liverpool, but his agent was basically getting him to go to Chelsea because of the length of the contract and the money. And when you get to a certain point, say they don't get European football for a couple of years, which I don't think they're certain to get Champions League football or European football this season now.
No.
Like Tom just said there, you'll have certain players like 𝕊𝕐𝕉 who are fucking spitting a dummy out to go and play for Chelsea because they want more money and more contracts, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, you know, in your contract it says if you don't get Champions League football the first 2 seasons, you know, your wages reduced by 40-50%. His agent's going to be straight on the phone to every other club possible saying, listen, let's materialise a move now because you know, he wants to leave. And it won't just happen just for 𝕊𝕐𝕉. It'll happen for loads of players because these young players, they want the money, but they do want to play big football and they don't want the money to be halved. You know what I mean? Like, it happened with, I think,
the Loyalties went, isn't it?
Yeah, it happened with Ronaldo with you, didn't it, last year or whenever it was? There was a bit of a conversation around, like, I don't think there was actual quotes, but there was like rumours of that he wasn't happy because like he had a really good season, and he's missed out on Champions League football, and meant to have been a little bit of a dummy spit out from him because his contract was getting reduced.
He was losing 25% of his wage and losing the chance to maintain his goal scoring record.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what line of work you're in, does it? If even if it's us, if we were going to work, say for example, for 150 quid a day, and then 2 years later we end up getting 75 quid a fucking day. Yeah, it's the same principle, isn't it? You get used to that money. So, like
it's also the same principle as like if Pepsi offered you, you know, £500 a week to go and work there, but then like as the Zone brand offered you £1,000 a week to go and work there, you're gonna go and work for the one that gives you more money. I know. Obviously, football's a lot larger scale, but different. And some of these players genuinely do want to win everything, but
they're all mercenaries at the end of the day.
Yeah, rightly so. At the end of the day, but you know, we see people have these conversations all the time about, you know, NHS is underfunded. Why are they not getting the money that footballers get? Well, because Karen, who's a cancer nurse, can't do overhead kicks and toss the ball in very well. Do you know what I mean? And as much to not try and make too much of a joke about it, but we will do.
Nor can 𝕊𝕐𝕉.
It's simple fucking. It's just simple facts that
be some sort of cap
footballers attract the money. Do you know what I mean?
It's been done a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's never going to.
I said the other week in the Discord, didn't I? I've done it personally. I've nearly doubled my wage in the last 18 months because I'll bounce around. I'm a greedy cunt. I'm like a workplace whore. I work for whoever's offering me the most money.
Yeah.
And I'm doing exactly the same job as I was 18 months ago. But I've done it for 4 different companies and nearly doubled my wage.
Yeah.
You see, Tom can do that, but he's doing it for this company. We'll offer him a bit more.
Yeah.
Tommy boy, he's a fucking money whore.
It's the way it should be in a sense, though, because at the end of the day, these companies don't really give a shit about you. You're your own person. You're trying to set up your own life and your kids' future and all that. I get why the players do it. You know what I mean? Like, I've got nothing against that.
I'm the same. I've moved 3 times in my career, and each time, not necessarily for the prospects of work, but more dough on the line, innit? Simple as.
Yeah. But yeah, what are we rating Chelsea out of 10 then?
4.
I think they've had a good window in the sense that they brought good players in, but they've had a poor window in the sense of what they've spent, how risky it is, and also some of the players they've got rid of, they should have kept.
I think for the amount they've managed to offset with the players they've sold,
I
think they've done very well.
Yeah.
I think that's an 8
offset quite a bit.
Well, they've offset like 260 million, is it, in total?
Yeah. Like I said, the fact that they've got 65 million, even 60 million for Mount in the last year is quite a decent return. But I also think the fact they've let Lewis Hall go out on loan when Ben Chilwell's legs are made of fucking Lego, and he can play in midfield as well, I think it's a bit of a mad one. But I'd give them an 8.
4.
Go on, Mark, elaborate on your 4, lad.
I'd give him an 8 personally.
I think it's just been probably the biggest overhaul of any Premier League squad I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And they've brought a coach in who hasn't even got a clue who he's probably picking for the 18 on a weekend. The first starting 11 and the 7.
They've got them wouldn't even been Pochettino signings, though. Half of them wouldn't have been his signings.
I don't think any of them will have.
That's what happens when you get these owners who just utilise it, like you say.
The only signing I think they've made for a manager over the last 24 months is Aubameyang for Tuchel, and then he sacked them. Genuinely, I can't think of who else.
It's just, I just think they're going about it the wrong way. Like, I couldn't give a monkey's how much they spent. Like, do you know what I mean? They've done well to get some money back.
Isn't it?
They've done well to get money back, but I just also think, like, you haven't got to. It's just mind-boggling. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and I don't think I will ever see anything like it again, spending that amount of money.
Yeah, right. We're going to go on to Palace now. They brought in Jefferson Lerma on a free, Franke from Flamingo for 26 million, Ian Henderson for 20 million, and Rob Holding for like 4 or 5, wasn't it? Notable players they've got rid of. Is it 𝕊𝕡𝕣𝕥𝕤? Did I say his name?
𝕊𝕡𝕣𝕥.
Yeah, but mainly, but he got rid of one big player and Zaha, isn't it? Free transfer, but I feel like it's a hard one because there was rumours that he was going to re-sign a contract again after his contract had run out. Ultimately, what can you do if a player just won't sign a contract? You know what I mean? Like, it's a hard one, isn't it?
Snap his legs.
Unless you shout surprise, you're in trouble.
One thing I will say is you've managed to keep Eze and 𝕊𝕡𝕥𝕤 and 𝕊𝕡𝕐𝕐, which is that could be as good as not buying, like as good as bringing players in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I do
think at the back.
Yeah, Mark Guehi's a good player. I just think like Franke, Newcastle were linked with him in January, weren't they? And a few other teams have been linked with him this summer. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen him play much, so I'm not gonna really rate him. And I don't even think has he played yet? I don't think he has he?
I haven't seen him.
Dean Henderson for 20 million. Tom, you're a United fan. What do you think of that? For Palace, the level of Palace.
We've had their fucking pants down.
Yeah.
100%.
I feel like if this was like 2 years ago or something, it probably
would
have been.
Tom, is he?
Yeah, he's got a very inflated ego.
He's like a shit version of Pickford, which I know it's hard to understand the shit version, like, but
like that ego just.
His ego, yeah.
He must be fucking shite.
Did anyone see the video of Pickford? The video of Pickford go round like doing like that face and like celebrating, yeah, doing that because he's I get it. He's made a double save at the end of the game, but he's.
You've got 1 point from 12, lads.
1 point. Who did the second one not hit him in
Sheffield
the face?
United.
Yeah, but it's still I don't know, but I still think it was a good double save. But,
and he scored an Oggy in the same game, by the way.
Yeah, it's just the arrogance of him. I can see the goal that whacks off the post, does it? And then comes back, swats him on the head and goes in. And then, lads, you know what? If you haven't seen it, anyone listening or watching...
He can't touch the crossbar. He can't touch the crossbar. He can't touch the crossbar. He's only got little arms.
I love how there's 2 Liverpool fans in here and not one of us sang at the Geordies.
You know what the mad thing is, yeah? What I've seen on Twitter, that Newcastle fans have got a bigger rivalry with than what we have. With Everton.
Honestly. Everyone hates him, like.
Yeah. I think it's because he's a Mackham, isn't it?
Well, they were beating us 2-0. Everton were beating us 2-0, I think, back maybe 2018, 2019.
Oh, I remember that.
In half time, and we came back and beat them 3-2. And he had been given it the big in front of the Gallagher.
Yeah.
And the Gallagher gave him it back, and he couldn't handle it. Like, oh, mate, this.
That was against us, didn't it, guys? But he kept.
Up, man. Did you not see someone dressed
up in a full
T-Rex?
Yeah.
Someone dressed up in a full T-Rex costume.
Yeah,
running.
Yeah, it happened against us where he kept time wasting it. Like every time he
0-0.
He could catch the ball, no power on it, and he kept dropping to the floor and like holding it. And then Liverpool ended up going up, didn't they? And were winning towards the end of the game, and Alisson took the piss out of him. And caught the ball, slowly dropped to the floor, and all the crowd celebrated.
The thing is with Pickford, he gives it, and I suppose he can take it to an extent because. Well,
but it's good for football. It's good for football. Like,
it's like Ramsdale. Ramsdale does it for Arsenal as well, doesn't he? He talks about all like
wind-up merchant.
All the wind-up. Yeah.
But there's a difference between being a wind-up merchant and celebrating like he did yesterday. Boss, you made a great save. You're on 1 point from 12. You scored an own goal, lads. Like, you shouldn't be celebrating like that. You know what I mean?
Get a grip.
Yeah, it's like give your head a wobble, and you think you're like this elite level goalkeeper. If you've got that mentality, you're never going to go to the top. Ever.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, back to Crystal Palace because Pickford's just been rinsed for 10 minutes. Yeah. Jefferson Lerma, Franca, Dean Henderson holding in on pretty much Zaha out, but he managed to keep holding the 3 players I mentioned before. What would you give their window out of 10?
6.
I'd give it a 5. What about you, Mark?
I give Burnley a 5, so I couldn't give them a 5.
I'd give them a 6. Like, I'm just making sure my phone's charged in 2 seconds.
Right. I think the fact that they haven't got a Zaha replacement in a sense, I know obviously you don't have to get like for like, but I just think that's a massive. It's massive for them. They've relied on Zaha so much. The fact that they've got rid of him and not brought someone else back in, I think. It's quite a big one. Right, next one we got Everton. So when you look at their window, I'll read the players out in a minute. The actual incomers that they brought in, they've actually done all right.
I was thinking
like
that. Yeah.
But when yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. And then against, was it Doncaster? He actually looked all right. He looked like a player. They looked like what they've missed basically for the last 2 years.
He's far better than what they've had.
Yeah, he looks like he can hold the ball up. He can chase it. He's quick. He looks like he knows where the actual goal is.
A bit like a Solomon Rondon.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but with a bit more pace.
Yeah.
But he also, the main thing, if he can stay fit, he's automatically best than 𝕊𝕐𝕟 because 𝕊𝕐𝕟 just can't stay fit. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't he?
You've signed Jack Harrison on loan. I know he's injured, but he looks a good player as well. Like when I've seen him for Leeds. 𝕊𝕓𝕒𝕝 is an interesting one. I think the fact that he was pretty much certain to sign for them a year ago and then ended up going to the.
I'm surprised to give him the time of day.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a mad one, but
there is all that bollocks around it, but he still improves on what they had.
He does, but I think what we will all probably agree with, 99.99% of football fans are all fickle, including us at some point. Yeah. And ultimately, if you sign a player that's better than what you've got, you kind of let it. It's like, yeah. Example: Luis Suarez was a cunt. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of teams would still take him because he's a good player. Bruno Fernandes is a cunt. A lot of people would still take him because he's a good player. I'm not saying 𝕊𝕓𝕒𝕝's on that level. What he's done, I know it's not a similar type of thing, but players.
He pulled a cunty move on Everton, didn't he? When he went to
trying to force a move at one point. Suarez trying to force a move away from us. If he would have stayed, we would have been happy and cheered him on. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way football is.
Like I said, lightly.
I think signing Ashley Young got a free transfer is a bit of a mad one as well.
With 𝕊𝕓𝕒𝕝, I don't think it's the fans that would have an issue with him. We'll get over it.
Yeah.
But from a board level perspective,
yeah.
Why would you go back in, sort of thing?
Yeah, why would you go back in for someone who's messed you about?
The thing is, though, with their board is Everton. That's wrong with Everton at the minute. Like their board is fucking absolutely goose. You know what I mean? There's rumours that the takeover that they were having is not happening now.
Is that why he does that celebration? Because the goose.
They also brought in that is it Timothy? Bought him for 15 million. Never seen him. I had to Google him when not now, but I mean like when he first signed him, and I've got no idea how good he is, or I've seen him on the other day for them, but I can't really rate him. But the big one for me is we had this discussion the other day. He got rid of 𝕊𝕒𝕟𝕒𝕝 on, was it deadline day for 22 million?
Yeah.
And we had a little bit of a conversation about the fee, but fee aside, he's probably been their best player for like the last 12 to 18 months. Get rid of him on deadline day and not bring anyone else in. Fucking terrible, isn't it?
It's a mad one, isn't it? I'd like even let him go. I mean, would Fulham even be paying him more money? Don't really know. Obviously, he got the London life sort of thing, but yeah, it's like you say, apart from maybe that bit of that 6-month spell Gordon had while he was there, 𝕊𝕒𝕟𝕒𝕝's definitely been their standout player, obviously.
Yeah. You got rid of Ellis Sims as well, which is an interesting one. They've actually got rid of quite a few young players.
They got a little bit of money for Ellis Sims, though, didn't they?
I'm not sure. It just says undisclosed. They got rid of
Oldgate
went to Southampton on loan, which I think is a good move because he's shite. Yerry Mina got released. Andros Townsend released. Tom Davis went to Sheffield United on a free. Jean-Philippe Gambin, is that his name?
Yeah. Bamin. I thought he was meant to be a fucking beast the other year when they brought him in.
He was, but he got injured pretty much after they signed. He cost like 20, 30. But I think they brought him in when he brought in. Was it when he brought in Allen in? Like around that time? It was about 3 years ago or something, wasn't it? 𝕊𝕒𝕝 out on loan again. If they're getting any sort of loan fee for that, it's a good move. Because he's absolutely dog shit. But I think
In
they've had
terms
all
of their
right window.
outgoings, they've not done too bad apart from the Iwobi one. Everything
Iwobi,
else,
yeah.
really.
What
Everything
about
else that's gone out is shite.
Jimmy Savile Sigurdsson?
He's just signed for the
He
team,
signed
hasn't he,
for someone, I think,
in like Denmark or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think in terms of their
2 years.
incomings for their level, Everton, 𝕍𝕤𝕒, Jack Harrison. I know we went down with Leeds last season, but
good player
if you
though.
can get a tune out of him, and like say from what we've seen at Beto, I'd probably for their level and the trouble that they're in with finances.
That Beto could keep them in the league. That's what if he does what he looks like he's going to do for them, he could be the difference between them staying up and going down because.
If he can give them 10, 12 goals.
That's what I mean. If he can get them 10, 15 goals, that could be the difference to keep someone in the league this season.
I'd say their incomings is probably a 7, but the window on a whole
I
would
would
get
say
rid of Iwobi.
Yeah,
I'd probably knock it down to a 6.5 maybe with Iwobi going there on deadline day.
What about you, Tom?
I'd go for a 6. Because they've not added anything that's going to get them out of the relegation battle. They needed a lot more.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like I said, getting rid of Iwobi at the end is a bit of a mad one. Like Fulham, Fulham have actually done some really good business, when you look at the transfers, Alex Iwobi for 22 million, 𝕊𝕡𝕠𝕣𝕥𝕤, who was actually linked with Everton, on loan, Jimenez for 5.5 million, Alvin Bassey 18 million, 𝕊𝕐𝕟 free, Bender from Swansea, no idea who he is. Castagna for 15 million might be a good bit of business. He looked all right for Leicester. In terms of outgoings, you've got rid of obviously Mitrovic, which is. Have they actually bought a striker in?
Jimenez,
yeah, sorry.
They brought Jimenez in before he went.
If they can get him for he'll get them 10, 15.
The problem is though,
Jimenez hasn't been the same.
Since he's had the head injury, I don't think he scored more than like fucking 5 goals in a season.
And they brought
he's finished
the
him.
winner.
Yeah, he's on a free transfer as well. I think that's a good sign, not a free, to be fair.
Them two played together before. They might try and link them up a bit, you know what I mean?
Mm.
I think the one that they lost, though, was that 𝕄𝕖𝕟𝕒𝕝 was decent for him, but he's went to Spurs, didn't he?
He was already on loan, wasn't he?
Aye.
There was a lot of shit going on with the... Wasn't he playing the Ukrainian league?
Yeah,
playing for 𝕊𝕥𝕤, wasn't he?
I think
it's been like they're trying to basically like a sort of tribunal because they got him on a free transfer, didn't they, Spurs?
Did
they? Do with the rules and regulations do it like FIFA or UEFA.
Yeah,
Daniel Levy's
going on in Ukraine with the war.
Yeah, legally. They had it Sporting Lisbon a couple of years ago, didn't they? When all their players quit.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
in the training ground. Legally, they're supposed to maintain a safe environment for work.
Yeah,
but saying with the next being a war zone, even though they're playing away from there, they can't guarantee the safety, so he walked out for free.
Bit of a shit move that from the player, like, isn't it?
Gets a nice whack signing on fee.
Yeah,
and then when we spoke about Fulham on an earlier episode on Heads and Laughs, and we said about obviously if Mitrovic goes, they probably won't be able to replace him.
Yeah.
Which obviously they haven't. Raul Jimenez isn't going to give you the goals Mitrovic is, but
did you see his goal the other day?
Oh, volley.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Mitrovic is.
Yeah, he just half spin volleys.
Got a hat trick, didn't he?
Yeah. What a goal.
For Fulham, to get 45 million quid for him, I know he's gone Saudi, but it's fucking still boss business on there.
I love Mitrovic, you know.
For us.
Mitrovic has got that type of player who I think he's got a screw loose. You just don't know what to expect from him.
But it's
he was celebrating his goal the other day, doing like this little celebration, and he just looked fucked up. Like he looked like he was about to run and fucking kill someone or something. Yeah, he just looked
that must have been the time he spent in the northeast that's done that to him.
Well, he was a Toon fan from like being a young lad, wasn't he? He loved the
club, that old chestnut.
Yeah,
have a look.
His idol was I was going to think of a funny player there. I couldn't think
Too
of
many nights on the big
𝕍𝕠𝕟𝕒𝕝𝕡𝕥𝕣𝕣𝕣.
It makes me laugh that I seen who was it? I can't remember who it was, but a player signed for like fucking. I remember he signed for someone anyway, but like a team that was just like not that good. And they've been told by the PR team to say like, yeah, this was my idol. It was like the shittest player ever. Who was it? It was a Premier League club. It was like someone like alright as well. I can't remember now. But yeah, what are we going to give Fulham out of 10?
8.5.
I'd give them an 8. I think in terms of getting rid of Mitrovic.
The money they got for Mitrovic 7.5.
It's just whether they can get the goals without him. So I would say 7. Me like.
Mitrovic is, yeah, that's the big one. But I think the fact that they brought in certain players that they have got in.
Yeah.
𝕊𝕓𝕒𝕝 on a free transfer would have been a good signing for most Prem clubs.
He's just been was he not on loan at Barcelona for like the last 6 months or something?
Yeah. If he can learn how to just fucking play football, he'll be a good player.
Stop rubbing baby on
if he can learn to do what he gets paid thousands of pounds a week to do, he'll be all right.
Got rid of Kevin Mbappe on loan as well. Steven Sessegnon. Right, anyway, so we'll pass them. We're on to Liverpool's transfer window. Me and Gareth, obviously Liverpool fans. I think we've had a decent window in all.
You see that cheeky grin on his face, Tom, can't you?
I do, because I genuinely do I think one of the reasons why I'll say I think we have. No, one of the reasons why I think we have is not just about the players we brought in. I think ultimately, I would be honest with you now and say if we could have kept Fabinho, I would have been happier. But at the same time, as a football club ran the way we are, 40 million is better business for Liverpool than what it is keeping Fabinho. It's just simple as that. And getting 12 million for Henderson is better business than Henderson being
you've brought younger players in.
That's what I mean. So, like, Henderson this season was meant to be a 𝕊𝕡𝕠𝕣𝕥𝕒 player, which is basically play 1,000 minutes across the different positions across the pitch, you know what I mean? Henderson wasn't happy to do that. So we got 12 million for that. That's quite good. We brought Endo in, who's looked good so far. He's looked decent. We paid 16 for him, so we paid 4 million more. But he's also 2 or 3 years younger than him.
Yeah.
I think, is it going to be an upgrade? I think it's an upgrade on Henderson, the way he's played for us the last 12 months. But one of the other big things is Liverpool have managed to somehow, the amount of money that, I know obviously you could sit there and go, yeah, but you could have got fees for these players, but the amount of money that we've managed to save off contracts is quite a lot, considering, I don't know if you guys know, but up until a couple of years ago, it might not be that now, we'd have to wait until the next season's figures come out, but Liverpool's contract in terms of the annual amount is quite high.
Wage bill.
And the reason why is because of the success they had over that, three-year period of winning the Champions League and stuff like that.
Win the Champions League 20% bonus. 20%.
That's what I'm saying. So
stuff, yeah.
It went up for a good reason, but at the same time, we got to the point where we were second in the league for second or third in the league for the highest transfer contract. But the fact that we've got rid of Henderson, Firmino, Naby Keita, James Milner, 𝕊𝕓𝕒𝕒𝕝, we worked it out on the stream a couple of months ago. Something 800 grand a week or something we were getting rid of, or 800 grand to $1 million. Might even be more actually, because when we were talking about it,
that was before Henderson and Fabinho.
Yeah, so let's say 800 grand a week, which again, it makes absolutely no difference to us, but
it's all about saving 1.1 mil a week.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
The thing is, if you're getting rid of Jordan Henderson, who's getting 170 grand a week, and you're bringing in Szoboszlai, who's probably getting 80 grand a week,
I reckon he's probably getting a bit more than that. But I reckon in terms of
volumes. He's younger. You're going to get more with him. He's going to get the experience.
Let's try and mirror the players that have come in and gone out. Let's say Endo's come in to replace Henderson. Endo's probably on 60 grand a week, 70 grand a week, and I don't think that's unreasonable to say. I don't think he'd be on a ridiculous amount of money. I reckon in terms of the players we brought in, McAllister will probably be on the highest money because of how much we pay for him. We didn't pay a high fee.
Yeah.
But I think Endo's probably on the least amount of money out of all the players that we brought in. As an outside, as a pair of outsiders who don't like Liverpool, I would use rank our window in terms of what we needed and what we've done.
I'd still put it as a 7.
Yeah.
7.5.
Yeah.
Like I was saying the other day, somebody in the mould of a Pavard, who could have played centre back, right back, or push into the midfield, as well as letting a bit of a utility player.
Yeah.
Someone like that would have pushed it into an 8.5. And I think you'd have had the money there to do it.
You've tried to do that slightly with Endo before he signed, a lot of people know, but the majority of games that he's played in his career, just to add, most of the games he played in centre-back, he played in the Japanese league, but he's played right-back, centre-back, and obviously DM and centre-back. So I feel like they've tried to do that, and I feel like they've had to as well, because I agree with what you're saying. Pavard wouldn't have been my choice. I would have went for the left-sided centre-back, but it's not just. This is one of the reasons why I think we've had a good window. I don't think it's been great. I don't think it's been poor, but We've also got rid of Fabinho, who's also someone that can play right back and centre back as well. And we've had times where Liverpool have had to rely on that because of the injuries that we've had to centre back. And I think losing him, as much as the money was good, is also we've had to bring someone in like Endo, do you know what I mean, who can do multiple positions. It's just whether or not he's going to be at the level that's going to be keep Liverpool. Because I think Liverpool are not going to have a chance to win the league this season. I think Liverpool's target this season should be trying to get second. But yeah, I agree. Pavard's an interesting one because you were linked with him as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say 7.5. Like I would say that's fair crack. Like definitely. I think they've bought young as well, though. And, like if you're paying 35 million for McAllister, World Cup winner.
Yeah.
Would you see any of your signings are world class? Would you say McAllister's world class?
I wouldn't say any of them are world class, but I'd say
they've got the potential in that on the way.
In 12 months' time, it wouldn't surprise me if we're talking about Szoboszlai and McAllister in that level. Yeah. I think I just want to put it out there, by the way, Szoboszlai he's good enough to go on and become the best midfielder in the world in 4 or 5 years. That's how good I rate him. Like, he's like me and Gareth watched Liverpool. Like, he's so good.
Since summer, Moussa Diarra.
I know.
So Szoboszlai, and we got beaten the both. Well, sort of beaten the both of them. But to be fair, me as a Newcastle fan, if I wasn't a Newcastle fan and I was just as a neutral, in a contract came in to go either Newcastle or Liverpool, you would go to Liverpool, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Unless someone's going to give it a lot more money in a sense. But I don't think you want to do that, do you?
To say that, but like maybe it won't be like that in a few years. Do you know what I mean? You don't know. This is football. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is.
What about you guys? What would you say if you had to rate our window?
Yeah, I think obviously over the first sort of month, 4 games of the season, I think what you've just said there and reiterating in terms of Szoboszlai, he's a baller. He can do absolutely everything. He's box to box. He can defend. He can go forwards. He's got his first goal today there, just a belted of a finish with his left peg from the edge of the box. McAllister sort of speaks for himself. I don't think we'll see the best of McAllister in Liverpool shirt until we get a better number 6 in.
Yeah.
Because even again today,
he's kind of like playing like a Thiago type role, isn't he? Where like we seen last season for Brighton, he was getting further forward. I think he might have been their top goal scorer in the league last season. Actually, I think he got like 10 goals.
Taking a lot of penalties though.
He might have, yeah. He scored a free kick. Did he score a free kick?
Did he score the absolute scream when it got disallowed or something though?
I remember. Scored a penalty against United, didn't he? Later on in the game to get the win, didn't he? Towards the end of the season. But,
I think today, like you're seeing, obviously we brought Curtis Jones straight back into the side after he'd been out with a bit of a niggle, and McAllister sort of played that deeper role. Gravenberch, obviously it didn't work for him at Bayern Munich, but there's obviously a player in there. Everyone can see that, and there's a reason Klopp and other top managers wanted him over the last sort of 18 months.
Tuchel said himself, didn't he, that like it's not that Gravenberch is not a good player, or he's not a hard worker. You just don't play with like 2-8 or you don't play with like it's been their system has not worked for him. It's not been him not being a good player now. Is he going to be the player that we all thought? Like I said, I was trying to come up with a comparison. We spoke about him on stream the other day of like not like a comparison in terms of like what type of player he is, but in terms of like hype around him when he was, he had that really good season for Ajax. Like would be similar now to probably maybe the way like Gabriel Vega is it. It's just that where like everyone's like, wow, this could be the next big thing. And I think everyone like at the summer when he ended up signing for Bayern, I think Bayern signed him early on. I think they got him in. They had the deal done quite early on, like January or February or something. But
was it the same time they did the Hernandez deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I think in terms of Gravenberch, I think Liverpool have bought him based on 12 months ago. Do you know what I mean? They haven't bought him based on what he's done for Bayern, and I don't think any club signed him would have. But I think
you don't lose it overnight. And I mean, and then in terms of our outgoings, we've lost obviously a lot of leadership and a lot of experience out the dressing room, which is still slightly concerning. I mean, obviously there's the talk of this new leadership group now with Van Dijk and Trent and Robertson, Alisson, etc. But we couldn't turn the money down for Henderson and Fabinho, but you know, we've said numerous times would have probably give Milner another year. Klopp wanted to give Milner another year, and that's more so probably just to keep him in and around the dressing room. But
I think letting Phillips go as well at the end of the window was a bit of a mad one, considering Konate's injured and Van Dijk's banned.
He not got like 3 or 4 internationals who's are like the captain of that country. I think there'll be more than enough leadership there for me, is not like I would say so.
Van Dijk,
but I think there's leadership, but there's knowing the environment as well, isn't there?
I can't remember anyone else like, but
There's
yeah,
5.
I'd give it
There's
an 8.
5.
If Liverpool would have kept Fabinho, brought in the players they have, and then went and bought a centre back, I'd give it a 9, like a 9.5. Or if Liverpool would have sold Fabinho and bought in like Doucouré or someone and bought a centre, Liverpool had to buy one of either another DM or a centre back. Listen, Endo, you know, a lot of people are talking about him and writing him off just because he's not a big fancy player, and no one really, you know, in this day and age now, really gives players a chance when they've not come for a lot of money. He's played so far and he's done well. So
That's only going to go in his favour.
It should do. I think it was an interesting one today that he didn't play. I think Klopp's approach to the game today surprised me because I didn't think McAllister would be the one playing the 6 there. I thought Endo play, but I think Klopp wanted to have more of the ball. I think obviously putting McAllister in the 6, he obviously expected that we were going to have more of the ball, and ultimately the game plan today worked perfect because, you know, Aston Villa, they had a couple of chances, but it was quite an easy game for us. Like 3-0 probably would have been more. Liverpool took the foot off the gas for the last 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, the last half hour was just cruise control, wasn't it?
Just passing the ball around the back like a game of fucking foot champs.
In terms of the window, I'll give us 7.5.
Right, Luton Town next.
Christ.
You've actually, do you know what? They've done all right business, you know, but I think the types of
Marvellous
players that they brought in, like, it just screams to me we're going to be in the Championship next season.
I don't even think we need to go that in depth with Luton, do we?
We can't get on loan. They brought in that. I will say they brought in that Mengi for United. He's meant to be quite highly rated.
I don't think he's as highly rated. He's getting a bit of a reputation because he's coming from the United Academy.
Yeah,
but he couldn't do it for Derby. He was never going to do it for us.
Yeah. How much did you sell him for? It was only like $1 million or something, wasn't it?
Pennies.
Yeah. Ross Barkley on a free transfer as well is an interesting one. I think he's an all right player. He could do all right.
Didn't that Chong used to play for United as well?
Yeah, Chong for $4 million.
Yeah.
And the Canvas on a bad deal, to be fair. I think they've done all right, but I think their window
marvellous bit of business there.
I just think that it just looks like they're getting ready to go down. That's what it looks like to me. What would you give Luton?
4.
Is that a bit of tumbleweed, Gareth?
I'd probably say 5.
Yeah, I think 5, yeah.
I think what they've done...
But it's a good joke.
They've bought... they've brought players in to guarantee coming straight back up next season.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I think that the players that they brought in is not to stay in the Premier League. It's to make sure that they're ready for next season when they go down.
What they need to do is not bullet the manager by the end of September.
Yeah.
Like, just give him a chance, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
you Luton Town.
You could get a few shock results this season, though. Like, just the Premier League's mad at it. They need to do it, though. I can't see them getting 40 points, though.
I think Luton could get beat 10-0, maybe like somewhere along the line, City, Liverpool, somewhere like that.
I tell you who will be counting the lucky stars, Everton, that fucking Luton have come up because that's one place guaranteed that they're going down.
Love sticking to the Blues, didn't he?
Yeah. Mark, what are you going to give them out of 10?
Luton.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah. Right, Man City, an interesting one as well. Like before I keep commenting about watching the Sky Sports doing like the ranking of the transfer windows. They had, like I said, they had an Arsenal fan on Chelsea. Was it Chelsea fan? I think it was an Arsenal, Chelsea fan, or Arsenal United fan, or whatever it was anyway. And you had Man City in the top tier. And like just use that information as you wish when you give me your rating. But they brought in Doku for 55 million, Gvardiol for 77, Kovacic for 30, and then he brought in a couple of young players as well, but don't know who they are. And they've also brought in Mateus Nunes for 53 million. They got rid of Mahrez at 30, Laporte 23, Cancelo on loan. Shea, is it Shea Charles? It is, isn't it? That's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Shea Charles, 15 million, Trafford 19 million. Gundogan on a free, Benjamin Mendy on a free. Cole Palmer, 42 million. Carlos Borges, is it? Or Borges for 16 million. And Taylor Harwood-Bellis and James McAtee went out on loan as well.
You know what? On the face of it, there, City with them outgoings,
Yeah.
their net spend's only about 60 million there this summer, and that's bringing in one of the most sought after centre halves in world football, and Guardado. Nunes, I think.
Though. Yeah, I've got the right people in place, but that's what happens when you make loads of money off cheating.
Well, yeah, but I mean, obviously, we can take this off face value now, can't we? I think the only thing for the outgoings there, really, for me, is losing Gundogan on a free. He's like a clutch, massive big game player.
I think losing Mahrez is a big one as well, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, key with them.
It depends how Doku settles.
It shows a bit of an evolution in the way City are going to play.
Yeah. Bringing in Doku's different than what
you've
had over the last 2 years or so.
Mahrez was the sort of player to slow the ball down, bring it back inside.
So Palmer as well.
Palmer's the same.
Yeah.
But then
they've gone more to like Sterling Sané type thing, haven't they?
Yeah. They've gone back. Funnily enough, Sané is the player they need now.
Yeah.
Since he got injured, he is the player they need.
Yeah.
I was surprised they got rid of Sané when they did, to be honest.
The centre-back was a hell of a player.
Guardiola's always said, hasn't he, if a player doesn't want to be there, they won't stay, he'll get rid of them. Simple as that. And you've seen that they've done that.
Yeah.
I think
Guardiola's a good signing. Kovacic's a good signing.
Yeah,
I think Guardiola will get a bit out of Nunes.
Doku's going to be an interesting one because he looked really good for Belgium in the Euros, but then the reason why no one's winning for him pretty much for like the last 2 years, you know what I mean? Because he hasn't kept that level. He could be a good player, like I said, as Tom's just mentioned there. They're going like maybe through an evolution of, maybe going slightly different. I don't know. It's just Matheus Nunes is it. We were linked with him heavily, like to the point where like there was supposedly a clause in his contract that Liverpool were able to buy him this summer, already in his clause when he signed for Wolves.
I haven't seen much of him, to be honest.
I think he's a good player, but like, is he possibly not so much as like his replacement, but is he going to be the person that maybe takes over the Kevin De Bruyne role? I don't know what's he getting brought in for. Kevin De Bruyne just can't stay fit because we all know that Kovacic just come in to replace Gundogan. Or is he just bringing him in for the next man in midfield? I don't really know. I think even it's just a lot of people rate this window. I don't think City have done as well as what people think they have.
I'm massively surprised Calvin Phillips didn't get some sort of move this window.
I think
absolutely killed his career going there.
I think Doku's a bit of a risk. The problem is with them though, they've just got a team that good enough now they can afford to take risks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good. Money's no object to them either. So
I think it skews our view on it that they've got rid of players that have proven for the past 4 or 5 years that they deserve to be at the best team in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Mahrez
and Cancelo and players like that.
Yeah, them players have proven season after season. Even though every season, Cancelo and it was a bit like Bernardo
Silva,
every season they were looking for a way out. They put in solid 8 out of 10 every game.
Yeah, world class, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think them getting 42.5 million for Cole Palmer is massive business as well. I don't think he's worth anywhere near that yet. Like,
just for the record, I'd love to punch Bernardo Silva's head in.
Why?
Because he's a little rat.
Right, okay.
What would you as well?
What would you give Man City's window out of 10?
7.
I'd just for getting 42 million quid for Cole Palmer.
Yeah, I'd go with an 8.
I like it. Look.
Yeah, if you've got some, like we mentioned before, like 30 million for Mahrez, 23.5
to get the best part of 60 million quid for James Trafford and Cole Palmer
is ridiculous. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm even going to add fucking Carlos Borges into that as well.
Yeah.
Right.
To get 60
talents
in January. in January, he was linked with Bolton and another team in League One.
Was he?
He was linked with League One loan moves, yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's the sort of level they were looking
Who
at.
did he end up going to? Was it PSV or someone?
Ajax.
He's like,
Watch him bang a load of goals in.
he did really well in the Premier League too. Did really well. He had like 18 goals in.
Man City are just like absolutely dominating all like the lower leagues, aren't they? In the Premier League, just like the under-18 or just what he wanted.
That's the reason why they can get these big fees though for the younger academy players as well, isn't it? Because they know they're coming from the...
Teams are gambling on that. You're getting the next Man City talent, they're exposing them, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
The difference is though, we're picking the next best thing off Fletcher Moss, and they're picking them out of the fucking favela.
Yeah.
In Brazil, it's the difference. They're buying these young players.
Yeah. What Chelsea are trying to do now, though, aren't they? With all these young Brazilian players they're buying.
Yeah.
They're paying like City are paying like 2 or 3 million. Chelsea are paying like fucking 10 times. Right, okay. On to United, Tom, your team. Decent amount, 60 million. Amrabat on loan. Onana 47, Johnny Evans 3, Højlund 72. Benidi, is it? Is that you say his name? 4 million. Regulion on loan. 𝕊𝕠𝕒𝕟𝕒𝕒 out. I don't know how much did he cost. How much did he go for? 15 million. Dean Henderson 20. Alex Telles undisclosed. I think that was about 5-10 million, wasn't it?
4.5.
Phil Jones just off the wage. And 𝕍𝕖𝕟 is massive.
Finally.
Fred for 12.5 million is not a bad figure, though. Well, 13 million, 12.9. Basic Greenwood. I don't even know if it's worth having a conversation about that. But what was it like? I asked them first about Liverpool's window, but I'm interested. You're a Man United fan. You support these. What would you like? Based on what you've seen so far this season, and based on what you've done. Now, obviously, you can't really rate. Højlund's come on today. Now, he could be absolutely fantastic, or he could be a 𝕊𝕒𝕒𝕒 Antonio that just bullies defenders, but isn't world class. It's impossible to say, because he's you can't rate him because he hasn't played yet. Do you know what I mean? It'd be harsh to do so. And Amrabat's not played yet, so it's hard for you to have it. I think they're going to be 2 of your key players this season, potentially.
100%.
What would you say with your window?
Mount, like I was saying in Discord the other day, I think you can see why they signed him, because he can play a bit like Bruno. He can play left and right and through the middle.
Yeah,
and it gives that versatility that you can stick him out on the right, and you can bring and give a striker a rest. But
sorry for laughing, but Mark's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
He does bring a bit of versatility because he can play more than just the 8 or the 10. But I think 60 million was a bit much.
Yeah. Look at his face. Oh, I can't take you serious. No, I get it, Tom. Sorry, lads. I agree.
Amrabat, just for the way he's held out for us, he deserves a fucking statue outside Old Trafford.
That just makes a transfer always feels a little bit better when the player wants to move and wait. Like,
yeah.
I don't know whether there was any interest in Gravenberch. Sorry to go away from it, but like a lot of the stuff that's been coming out from the club since he signed and what he's been saying, are like rumors about like when he wanted to come to the club. There's been a lot of focus on the fact that he's like really wanted to come to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? And you can understand why. Same with Amrabat to Man United, 2 of the biggest clubs in the world, but it just feels that little bit better when you know the player really wants to move to that team. Do you know what I mean?
As much as he might have wanted Atletico, or he reported that he wanted Atletico moving earlier in the window.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he's turned down Saudi Arabian money to come to United is fucking huge.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, like I said earlier, no one in the right mind turns down Saudi money. Because he could have gone and earned $500,000 a week there.
99.99% of people say yeah to it, especially someone like, no disrespect to him, but
they come from football.
I've said I like him, do you know what I mean? He's a good player, but
Mo Salah's turned down $1.5 million a week, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, but it's that again. That's the exception.
He's got 2 weeks left to fucking accept it, though,
again, that's the exception of certain players like Salah. You can understand because he's got like you can see that he wants to have that legacy with Liverpool. He wants to break records and does want to play European football. And I know we're not in the Champions League this season, but you can see why he might stay. And he's been here for like 5 or 6 years. But players like Amrabat or like Gini Wijnaldum's just gone to what is it, Etafaki or whatever it's called, Etifak. You can get why they're going. You can like say again, you can get why big players are going as well. Do you know what I mean? But I think he'll be. I rate him. I've been saying all summer, like I'd take Amrabat at Liverpool. I think he's a good player.
Anana, I think we'll see eventually what he's worth.
Yeah.
Give him an out ball. Give him someone to aim for. He doesn't have to go.
Maybe.
Exactly. He doesn't have to go short. I don't think in 2023 Johnny Evans should be anywhere fucking near us.
I think if Maguire leaves, if Maguire leaves and you just bring Pavard, then I think that's a good sign to still keep him because he knows the club, he's got experience, and I don't mind. And I said this when I don't mind Johnny Evans sign. I think like he's probably on like 20 grand a week or something. Like he's probably on pennies. You know what I mean?
2023 though, United should not be finishing a game at the Emirates with Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans at centre.
Yeah, but you've got to. I get that, but at the end of the day, you can't help two players getting injured. The problem is.
You can't, but they still should have something else than fucking Johnny Evans coming off the bench. Come on.
Yeah, but look at Liverpool a couple of seasons ago. We were playing Henderson and fucking Fabinho centre back. It does happen. I get what you're saying. I understand that. Like I said this a couple of weeks ago. Like Man United turned down an offer for Harry Maguire because early on the window or 𝕊𝕤𝕕. One thing that I think a lot of people agree with: Man United as a club is just not ran well. And ultimately, if they had better owners or better people in place that were. I think Ten Hag being allowed to go and buy loads of players that he wants or he's coaching for, I think it's a bad move. And I think that if we see an ownership take over, you'll probably see a lot of changes. You'll see this type of stuff changing.
A good Manchester United side is good for the Premier League, though. Even though I'm a Newcastle fan,
yeah, it is.
It's good for the Premier League, and
it's good. It's good, like in a sense. But even them being shit is good because ultimately,
everyone tunes in to watch you get beat.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not like this is. I'm not bantering. I want United to lose nearly every game. I actually wanted them to win today. I said that on the stream because I don't believe United are gonna. I think we're gonna have a better season than United. To the point where I think we won't have to worry about finishing. I think we'll get top 4 convincingly.
Get the badge in.
He's probably have to get his daughters probably woke up or his little lads. But ultimately, I think that we're going to be challenging for Arsenal to finish second. Do you know what I mean? And I wanted them to win. I just no. I think United have got some good signings, but I just don't get some of them as well. I think Mason Mount's a good player. I think, as we said, 60 million is probably a little bit too much, but only in the context of he had a year left and he had a poor season. But at the same time, it's English tax, isn't it? And he's
they're overpaying for certain.
He overpay for a lot of players. That's just the way United are ran now. Tom will agree with that. It's down to a couple of factors, and one of them is poor ownership and how the club's ran from the top. It's also down to the fact that it's Man United. They're the two main factors of why they overpay for some players.
The big clubs will always pay an extra 15-20%, won't they?
Just for context, I would not have been surprised if Liverpool got Mount for 50 million. Like if United didn't go in for it, I reckon we would have got him for less than 60. United just seem to pay more, and I don't mean like on purpose. I mean just what the clubs charge them. I think Onana for 47 million is a bit of an interesting one. He doesn't like. United fans are probably going to love him because he's got that attitude, like the tenacity of fucking wanting to play. And he seems like he's got an attitude about him that Man United fans are like, demanding the defence around and doing this and that. But I just don't know if he's good enough.
Looks shaky at times, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I will say is when he brought Højlund on today, like I said, we don't know what to go off with him yet, but he looked a handful today when he did come on. Like he had like a little cameo,
Martial, didn't he?
A little flick that he had, the little ball that he played back to what I can't remember who it was. Would you say Martial or whatever it was? The little flick that he had, which led to them scoring, which was offside, was a good play. He held the ball up quite well. Is he going to be, like I said, is he going to be a really good player or is he going to be Michael Antonio? It's impossible to say at the minute, you know what I mean? You hear us, Tom?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
so to set up a.
Just talking about. I don't know if you what bit you didn't hear.
I can hear it all. I heard it all, yeah.
Okay, so talk about United like getting basically overcharged for players, but also your people in charge of getting transfers done.
Over the years, we've had a financial advisor running the club.
Yeah,
we turned into one of the biggest biggest fucking money-making machines on the planet, but we were ran really badly on the footballing level.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. You hit the jackpot at the time of when the Premier League became the Premier League. That was the time, like, let's go back, say this all happened 20 years before, Liverpool would have been the big one now in terms of like the money and all. Like United are probably still seen as a bigger club as Liverpool, bigger club than Liverpool because of the Premier League money and everything that you've done in that era. It'd be frightening to see how well you would do with good owners. But
it would. I agree. But
I'm in a position now where like
it's good for the Premier League.
It is. It's a weird one now because I feel like what Man United can spend, they can spend organically from the money that you make. Do you know what I mean? You don't need Saudi money. You need competent businessmen that actually want the club to do well. Do you know what I mean?
So this is where I would put money. I'd probably put money on the once Ed Woodward has got shares in United.
Yeah.
As part of his deal, he got shares in United. He's the only non-Glazer. He's a non-Glazer owner with the same class of shares.
Yeah.
Once they're sold, he would get a job at Newcastle because of the commercial money-making machine that he turned United into.
Yeah.
He'd do wonders for him because they'd then go from.
Do you think he's also
from a £20 million shirt sponsor to a £55 million shirt sponsor?
Yeah, I think they'll have that one of these anyway, won't they?
They'd all of a sudden have an official diesel engine partner. They'd have an official red wine. They'd have an official fucking everything.
Yeah.
They'd have an official partner for everything. And that's what he's done at United.
He started that last season. He got an official flight partnership or something with Saudi Airlines for like a 2 weeks winter break. They would happen before the World Cup or after the World Cup.
But I don't think with somebody like Ed Woodward in charge as well of that side of things, he wouldn't need to be doing it with other PIF.
You wouldn't need to tempt fate and try and cheat.
They wouldn't need to exploit them PIF links to be able to do it with other teams.
Don't talk about Ed Woodward now. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know how well or bad he's done, but based on the outside view of it, as a football fan and seeing how well and how poor United have done, why do so many fans not like him then? Because he's a yes man to the Glazers.
He's a yes man to the Glazers.
If he's done so well in the past, what's going wrong?
He was a yes man to the Glazers. Along with 𝕊𝕡𝕠𝕣𝕥𝕤, he was the key person for the original takeover bid.
Yeah.
He was one of the key people who facilitated it because he worked for an American bank at the time.
Yeah.
And then when he got the job, he was given free rein to control the footballing side of things when he didn't have any clue what he was doing.
Oh, so what you're saying is, he is non-footballing side of it, he done really well. The footballing side,
he's
shite. Yeah, okay, I didn't know.
There's a reason. He is the reason that we've been able to go into the Europa League and not even qualifying for Champions League or Europe.
It'd still be all right financially in a sense.
And still be the biggest revenue club in the country. You can finish 7th and still have bigger revenues than the champions.
Are you concerned if the takeover doesn't happen in like the next year or something, like he's might drop off?
I think we could go bust.
Reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could go bust before we dropped off.
Does that be?
I know that doing that much of a mess.
He's in a position now where, like, I think for the first time ever, Liverpool obviously had a higher generated income than you, didn't we? In 22, 23 or 21, 22. I can't remember which year it was anyway, but the fact that there's a reason why, obviously, Liverpool's success on the pitch, but I think he's in a position now where, like, if you don't get Champions League football this season and don't get a takeover, I don't know if you go bust. Again, I don't know nowhere near as much as what you do, but I think it's a mad place to be, isn't it? Like, for a club as size of United, where, like,
without a takeover, there's every chance. Without a takeover, there is every chance.
Right, let's get back onto the transfers anyway. So
fingers crossed, then, lads.
Right, Tom. What was your? Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to rate it. Yeah, who's your favourite signing?
Amrabat.
Amrabat. Okay, fair play.
Yeah.
What would you rate your window out of 10?
5.
5? Why?
Yeah. He fucked and farted about with the Amrabat deal, so he's now on loan, not a transfer.
Yeah.
And we declined 60 million quid for 2 players we really don't want.
Yeah.
If you get 60 million quid and Amrabat's a permanent transfer,
Goes up to an 8 and a 9.
That's
Yeah.
a 7.5.
Yeah.
Solid 8, 7.5.
Yeah.
But with the failure to get rid of them two clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I think getting the money you got for the Lang is a good deal on Henderson. I think you've done well there. The fact that you could have got an extra 60 million for them two players, which would have put your net spend down to about fucking 100 million or something, or whatever it would have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
What would you give it, Gaz, out of 10?
I'd probably give him a 6. I think obviously replacing. I think replacing 𝕍𝕗 is obviously, again, from the outside looking in, is something that you have been screaming out for quite a long time now. Whether Onana is the answer to that, we'll obviously soon find out. 72 million for the kid up front, it's big money, but again, like Liverpool did it last summer with Darwin Núñez, and others have done it previous, so time will tell with him. But yeah, I
think it's hard. I think it's hard with Højlund to rate him or not, because I think even 99% of the Man United fan base, that could have been the first game they've ever seen him play today. Like, genuinely, because he's quite new on the block, and 72 million, obviously he's going to sit over it, but I think people nowadays are just too. I think with certain. How old is he? He's like 19, isn't he? How old is he?
20.
19, is he? I don't know. What he today, like I said, in my opinion of what I see, he could be a really good player. Like, he showed fight and he wanted to do stuff that Martial just doesn't do. You know what I mean?
What about Sancho though? What's the crack with him? Do you know what I mean? Look at that.
Seen that today with like the little statements he put out.
Yeah, saying he's not bothering in training and stuff. Like, is it just going to be a waste of?
I reckon Sancho will
end up ability's there. You know what I mean? It's just a work rate, isn't it? It's just.
But for a manager,
in the question now.
You get to a point though where if the manager's questioning the player and the player's questioning the manager, there's only one thing that can happen: the player needs to leave.
Well, it says it all when he went out and spent 86 million on Antony in Sancho's position. There you go. It screams volumes, doesn't it?
What would you say? What would you say the scenario like? What with Sancho?
It's a weird one because every time Ten Hag's got rid of someone, he's backed them in public.
Yeah.
This time he's not.
Yeah.
I think he might be trying to manage him well enough to say, you've not trained well enough, and I'm going to tell everyone, and you're going to pull your finger out, and you're going to fucking perform.
I think that's a good way to go with it, though.
Yeah.
When Sancho, like we said last year, Sancho got sent away and didn't need to do his own little thing.
Give him 3 months off for the mountains.
I think it's like a public shaming, though. Do you know what I mean? He's shamed, and he might go into his shell a bit. Do you know what I mean? It just.
He's tried to
I don't think Sancho's never going to work for United. I said this today. The goal that you scored, the second one I got the one I got disallowed. That football epitomised what I see for United and what I have seen for a long time. I don't see United as being a 60-70% possession-based football team, and I don't know whether Ten Hag wants to do that. I think having Onana and getting players that can play football don't also mean you have to chase the way Man City or Arsenal play. Liverpool have a lot of the ball, but we don't really play how Arsenal and City play. Do you know what I mean? And I just think the goal that you scored today was like the perfect example of what you can do and what I think you should be doing. I don't think Sancho fits that at all. I think Sancho would be good for like someone like Arsenal or City. I just don't think he works for United. Weird one. Like, I think if he, it just goes to show the difference between the Bundesliga and the Premier League at times, though, doesn't it? Because a lack of pace. At Sancho, for me, I think he's slow as fuck, and he look quick in the Bundesliga.
Yeah,
the space that you get in the Premier League is just not there. Like, if he goes to the Bundesliga, there's so much space in behind. It's unreal. Like, it's completely different, isn't it?
I've said before, the only league that compares for the physicality and the intensity to the Premier League is the Portuguese league.
Yeah.
The quality is quite there.
Players do quite well, don't we, when they come here?
But I was just going to say, when was the last time you saw a player from the Portuguese league come over here and flop? Because they can't hack it.
Yeah.
It's rare. It's very, very rare.
Yeah.
But you'll reel them off the players that come over and had absolute barnstorming careers.
Yeah. I'm always I think I'd be interested to like see if there was like a figure out there that you could like rank a player how well he's done since he signed into the Premier League. Like break it down into like leagues and see like if there was like a hit rate of like each league, do you know what I mean? And see how well Like for me, I always feel like
Italy's quite poor.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think Italy's quite poor. Do you know what? Ironically, do you know what I think does quite well? Like the _Eredivisie sometimes.
I don't think Italy's as poor as it has been.
Yeah, maybe.
They had a team in every European final this season.
I don't think they are, but I mean in terms of like the players that have come to the Premier League.
Coming across,
what I mean?
Not really doing so well.
I don't mean like the quality of like what the best league is. I mean like in terms of like when players have come to play in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think
it's the league. You know what I mean?
What you'd be able to do. There is a thing on it's called FB Ref. I don't know if you ever looked at it.
Yeah, just that website.
Yeah, you can compare them to players in that league. You can compare players, a specific player to a player in a specific league. It could be worth looking at that if that's the metric you want.
Well,
yeah, maybe. Right. Yeah, what's that? I haven't rated. I think United have actually done well, to be honest. I think you have not done as well as what you have, but I think, what did you say, Tom? 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's harsh.
I would say about
I think it's quite harsh. I'd say 7. I think I get what you're saying. I think the only down part I will say is I think it's probably because
to get rid of players.
I agree with that, but I also the fact that you've managed to get 20 million for Henderson and 15 million for 𝕊𝕠𝕣𝕥𝕒 and 30 million for Fred. I get it, and I feel like because you've had the opportunity to get rid of the players that you have, but if you would have got rid of Maguire and McTominay, and then in my opinion brought another striker in, you'd be on like a 9. I think
the important question is though, will the mascot still be called Fred the Red?
Oh no way. Right, let's go on to the next one because you've been recording.
Mark, when you pull that face, you're like fucking Fred Flintstone, lad.
Right, Mark, we're on to your team now, lad. Newcastle.
Oh,
Harvey Barnes, 39 million. Sandro Tonali, 55. Jan Kuba, I can't pronounce his name, but he's a young lad. He was like 5 million or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's went on loan to Feyenoord.
Yeah, Livramento, 32 million. Lewis Hall on loan. And then 2 other young players. Cathal Hefferman. No idea what he is.
Yeah, that's the one from AC.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. Travis Haynes.
Like him from AC as well. I think they went twice and got.
You've got rid of St. Max, 23 million. Chris Woods, no fee there, but I think it was like 15 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Matty Longstaff.
Fraser on loan, Southampton, Jamal
Yeah,
Lewis
there's no other like actual fee players though, I don't think.
Yeah, not really.
What would you rate your window then?
How would I rate my window? 7.
Would you?
How would I?
What would you have liked to have done more? What do you think would have boosted it up a little bit more?
Another centre back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
right winger.
Striker. I think we've got enough midfielders. I think we just needed a striker who would. I mean, Callum Wilson's injury record speaks for itself. Was a little bit sort of he's not injury prone, but he's just sort of sometimes he can pick up the niggly injuries and stuff. So I think we need another striker to push.
I said last season, towards the end when Callum Wilson was going on that massive run of scoring goals, I would have sold him in the summer. I think he's a good player, but
I wouldn't sell him. I think they're hard to come by.
In the position that you're in now, you're just struggling to be able to buy players because of FFP. Callum Wilson's like 29, 30 or something, isn't he? He always gets injured. There's no better time to sell a player than when he's just fucking darted into Champions League football and he's having the best scoring Premier League season of his career. I just think
if someone had offered 40 million, I think they might have took it. Like
I reckon Callum Wilson to me screams Saudi. A Saudi club would have come in and offered 40 million for him. And you know what? He's probably could have had another 20 because he's owned by them anyway. Know what I mean? No, I do genuinely think. I think if someone like I'm taking a piss, like Everton or someone would have offered you 30, 40 million for Callum Wilson. Because he could, if he could stay fit, he could be the difference, like we said before, from a team staying up or going down.
Yeah.
Fulham might have if he wants
on the market. I think he's good enough to play for you, but I just think
he deserves the chance to play a bit of Champions League football.
Yeah, 100%, 1,000,000%, mate. He's a good player. I just think with his injuries,
it will only be a bit after that.
But Eddie Howe's managed him before, and he loves him. Yeah. I think he's just part of the journey that obviously we're trying to sort of go on and what we're trying to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good to have good players. I know his injury record's not the best, but they're hard to come by. People who are going to get you 15, 20 goals a season, and he hasn't really started this season, but I think he'll be playing after the international break.
What's your thoughts on Isaac this season?
I was a bit surprised. Sorry?
What's your thoughts on Isaac this season?
The first game, I thought he was unbelievable. Villa, unbelievable. Yeah. Last 3 games, hasn't really offered much.
Yeah.
I had a chance yesterday. I think it was probably within the first 10 minutes, had a chance, snatched at it, but I think that's... Yeah. And then Wilson comes on and he scores. Do you know what I mean?
I think Isaac's an interesting one. I think he's a good player. But
what's his best position?
I don't know.
What's his best position? Exactly.
I always said striker. I probably think it is, but...
I would say left. I would say on the left, me.
We had this conversation when he signed. And he went through a period of where, like, everyone's seen him as being, like, you know, he could be, like, the next big striker. And then he's had seasons where he's had, like, good seasons, but he signed him off the back of a season where he was, like, his output for a striker
it was like 6 or 8
was terrible. And
yeah,
I watching the way he plays now, I think he's fantastic.
He's dribbling's unreal. Like, it's
do you know what it kind of reminds me of? And it's I don't want to try and, like, disrespect him, but kind of reminds me of, like, St. Max in a sense. Like, he just, like, he's got all the ability to do so much, but then, like, I just don't know whether he's going to have the output.
He just seems like sometimes I think he was a bit isolated in the last 2 or 3 games. I think he's been really isolated up top on his own. We haven't got players around him
system as well, isn't there? Yeah.
But I think that comes from the players that have been playing next to him and stuff like that. But we're going to lose games. It's not always going to be... Last season, we're massively overachieved. But like you say, we're sort of finding that level to an extent. But we've had the hardest start. And we're not... It's not time to panic. Let's just sort of... If we get to December and we're sitting sort of maybe 14th, 15th and we haven't really been playing well and we've been knocked out the Champions League because we've lost our first 4 games, then fair enough, do you know what I mean? Then maybe it's a bit cause for concern.
Yeah.
But, like, we're still on a... Like I keep on saying, I'm enjoying it. It's better than Mike Ashley and having no hope. We've actually got a team that we can support and, like, be proud of. That's all the city wants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same for Liverpool. It'll be the same for United. You just want to have a team you want to support and, like, think, sit and watch them on the telly and you're like, for fuck's sake, we're shit us. Do you know what I mean? Fair enough. It's been like that last 3 games, like, but last season was like, it's mint. I've actually, I'm going to go to Dortmund with the lads. Ticketless as well, so no ticket.
Yeah, just in a day out, or you're going to try to get a ticket when you're there?
Maybe, but November.
Yeah.
In November, we're going to leave on, like...
that'd be some like, it's in your lifetime, like, how many times do you reckon you've been in a lifetime in the Champions League, your lifetime? 2 or 3 times?
We're in it. How many times do you think we'll get in the Champions League?
So how many times have you been in it in your lifetime?
Twice.
Yeah.
No, 3.
So, going to experience an away day, whether you're in the ground or not, to somewhere like Dortmund is like... Some people genuinely won't ever experience it, even if the team's regularly in the Champions League. Because you've got to get to look at the draw as well.
I've been to UEFA Cup games, but I've never been to a Champions League game.
Yeah.
But we're going to, like... I think we're getting a flight and then we can fly to Amsterdam and then get the train from Amsterdam to Dortmund for 17 quid.
You'll get stuck in Amsterdam, you lads. There's no way you're making
it. As much as it started shit, you know, if you look at Newcastle's next 6 games, there's no reason why they don't take 18 points.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much. Much.
Brentford, Sheffield United, Burnley, West Ham, Palace.
That's it. Do you know what I mean?
So what the concerning thing would be for me?
In Discord.
If you get through them games and you haven't got at least 10 points or something, that would when I'd be concerned.
There'll be Champions League games. Can we do it on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday? Yeah. So this is why we've brought 𝕊𝕡𝕣𝕥𝕤 in, Lewis Hall in. Trippier's 32. Trippier doesn't want to be playing twice a fucking week. Do you know what I mean? And he's been poor so far. He was poor yesterday. And I think you even said that. He's been poor.
The flip side to, I suppose, you're getting that Champions League group as well as, and this isn't a given, but for example, if you're going to the likes of PSG,
you've got to play the best, haven't you, pal? You've got to, man.
If you go there and get, I'm not saying you will, but say for example you go there and get bummed fucking 4-0, 4-1 or something, and then you've got to get yourself back up again for that game on the Saturday or the Sunday, and then in 2 weeks' time it could happen again.
That game as well.
What is it?
So, well, there you
After
go.
that PSG game, it's United away.
Do you know
That's
what I
what I
mean? So
mean.
that's the other factors you've got to bring into it.
It's unknown territory for Eddie Howe in the football club, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've just got to embrace it. Like I say, we're on that
It's a
journey.
learning curve. It's
Let's
all a
not
learning
panic.
curve.
Tell you what, though, I'm looking at it now. You got Milan away, Sheffield United away, PSG at home, West Ham away, Dortmund at home, Wolves away, Dortmund away, Bournemouth away, PSG away, then you've got United at home. You don't have an home game after a Champions League game until the very end of the group.
This is what I mean. Do you know what I mean? It's not look at the Carabao Cup draw. We were going to be 19th for the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
No, they put Norwich number 19 and put us 20. How's that alphabetical order? And then we end up drawing City in the third round. Then we get the worst Champions League group. Then look at the start of the fixtures at the start of the season.
That's Saudi when he wasn't cleared to the fucking higher ups, was it? Yes.
It wasn't cleared. Yeah, man. Give us
a Qatari still ain't,
the
Qatari still ain't.
You can't do that in Saudi. You get your head chopped off.
I know, yeah.
Eddie's man.
But yeah, Mark, go on then.
Enjoy it, lads. Enjoy it.
What are you rating your window out of 10?
7.
What would you say, Tom?
I'd give them a 7.5.
Yeah.
They've got rid of some good players, but they've brought in quality.
I think Harvey Barnes. I just want to see what Harvey Barnes can do.
I'd probably give him a 7 as well. I think they've overpaid slightly for 𝕊𝕡𝕠𝕣𝕥𝕤. I think Harvey Barnes.
One thing I will say is I think 𝕊𝕐𝕳 a good player, but I don't get the signing yet. Personally, I think
he's kind of playing with Bruno in the same midfield, mate. It just needs to be switched around. We need to switch it around.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see
is a lot of now is I feel like Bruno. I was going to say Fernandes. Bruno Guimaraes needs to come out the team. I would have a break.
Yeah.
He's been off the boil now since about March or something.
Since he had the baby.
Wasn't he playing with an injury the back end of last season as well?
Yeah, he was supposed to have an ankle. He was supposed to have an ankle operation in the summer, and he didn't. Joe Linton wasn't fit yesterday. Joe Linton had to have he was like a late fitness test or whatever, and you could just see he wasn't fit. Bruno was meant to have an ankle operation in the summer, didn't have that. So
I don't know why Eddie doesn't try a 4-2-3-1 and try like Longstaff and 𝕊𝕐𝕳 holding in front of the back four. And then have a 3 behind Isaac or Wilson.
Plan B. He needs to have a plan B.
Yeah.
There's no plan B there at the moment.
So what baffles me in the
Eddie Howe's never had a plan B though.
In that Premier League series or whatever it was called, like he's a couple of games in that he's played 3 at the backup points in some games. And I haven't seen any of that at all.
He's just reverted back to type, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think. Do you know what though? I think the club's trying to be a bit nicey. He needs to grow a set. Matt Targett's not good enough for a start. Dummett's not good enough.
But neither's Dan Burn.
Good enough. There's a couple of players there. 𝕊𝕬𝕝, I would probably start putting into that category. Hasn't really played very well at the start of this season.
If you had Diaby this season, he's probably beat Liverpool. You probably get more points in the other games that he's had.
I would start Jacob Murphy over 𝕊𝕬𝕝.
I said that the other day. Or maybe play Gordon on the right and Barnes on the left.
That's what I was saying, yeah. But I would start at the moment. I would start Jacob Murphy. He'll give you.
I feel sorry for Elliot Anderson as well. He had a great pre-season. Looked very good.
That's what I've
he did.
Pre-season and then
Longstaff, Anderson, 𝕊𝕐𝕳. We'll see how that works. I mean, we're missing Joe Willock. I can't rave enough about Joe Willock. Like probably one of the best ball carriers to get up and down the pitch in the Premier League for me. Like
shite him.
Fuck off, man. Will you have a word in fucking gun, will you?
And if you look like you're on a fucking babe station couch there, lads.
Lads, I'm waiting for me fucking subscriptions to come through and then I'm flying.
Right, anyway, let's go. We've been going for over 2 hours here now, so let's get on to the next team. We'll have to skip, but try to be a bit quicker. Nottingham Forest, they brought in, that player who played for Norwich for 11.5 million. Yeah. We're going to call him Andrew. Sankare, 𝕊𝕐𝕳, Origi, and Montiel. Do you know what?
10.
I know you've got more, but some of the players, I'm looking at the list now, they've actually made some good signings, Montiel, 𝕊𝕐𝕳, Chris Wood, Norcus, don't know who he is. I would just say, is it 𝕊𝕐𝕟?
𝕊𝕡𝕟𝕒.
Yeah, I know who he is. Like, I think everyone will probably know he's been around for a while. Matt Turner, Andre Santos on loan, 𝕊𝕡𝕟𝕒𝕝 from Corinthians, Nuno Tavares, who is absolutely dog shit, by the way.
He's
Nicholas
fucking terrible,
Dominguez, supposedly a swap deal with 𝕊𝕡𝕟. That could be very, very good business. He's a good player, Dominguez. 𝕬𝕡𝕟𝕒𝕒 for $5 million and 𝕍𝕬𝕐𝕗 for 7.7. Now, they've went and signed loads of players, and it could go tits up, but I feel like we said this last season as well. They've signed some really, really good players, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
Who've they
Their
got?
incomes are decent.
Their incomings are very good, but they've let go a lot of players that they kept hold of last season when they came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have replaced a lot of players.
You got rid of Surridge was an interesting one. He looked like he was an all right player when he was coming on. Like,
did Shelby leave on transfer deadline day?
No idea. They got rid of Jack Colback as well. Jesse Lingard.
No, Shelby's still there.
Shelby's still there?
Yeah.
He's not going to play for the club again. Him and I spat. He's done me out, and that's it.
You know what? Them signing Shelby and Chris Wood is the most baffling thing I've ever seen in my life. I just don't get it. Like the other Manuel Dennis who was struggling to get a game because I don't think the manager liked him, but I think they've done some good
𝕊𝕟𝕒𝕒 a boss signing for them as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Sangara's
Sangara, however you fucking say it.
He's one of them players though, like a year or so ago, everyone was looking at him thinking, oh, he'll end up getting a move to Europe, like a bigger team in Europe, but it didn't happen then. Supposedly, I don't watch much of the Eredivisie. I'm not going to pretend to do. He hasn't really been as good over the last 12 months, but it'll be interesting to see how well he goes. I think Montiel's a good signing. I didn't know he was only on loan, but he's a World Cup winning captain, isn't he? I mean, not captain.
𝕊𝕡𝕟𝕒𝕒, the absolute ghost.
𝕊𝕡𝕟𝕒𝕒 is an interesting one because I don't know. I think he'll do shite for them. I think he done well for us at certain stages, but I don't think he's that good at this point in time. Now, I don't like. He didn't do that well for AC Milan either. Matera. Found a couple of young Brazilian players, like I said. They got that Andre Santos off Chelsea on loan. They got Murilo as well. No idea who he is.
𝕊𝕟𝕒𝕒
for $5 million is a good signing. Like that's a good bit of business.
Yeah. I'd be giving them a 7.
𝕊𝕒𝕒𝕒 as well. That considering that they've had to replace Navas, I think that could be a good signing for them as well. I'd go more than a 7. I'd go quite high. I think they've done well.
I'd go near, like, especially if they got that
money
as well.
What?
The players they brought in and the fact they got 48 million for Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, I forgot about Brennan Johnson. Yeah,
forgot about Brennan Johnson. Yeah, actually, 8.5.
That's a solid 8.5.
I'd go 8.5. I think
nearly 50 million quid, lads, for Brennan Johnson. What?
Exactly.
Right, Sheffield United.
We've got more wingers than fucking PGI Fridays, haven't they?
They brought in Cameron Archer for 18 million. They brought in 𝕊𝕡𝕒𝕒. I don't know if you remember him, guys. He used to play for us.
Yeah, he only had a couple of games, didn't
he? James McAtee. Luke Thomas on loan's not a bad signing.
No.
Tom
Davis.
Who?
Tom Davis.
From Everton.
Oh, yeah. Fucking what a shit player he is.
He's been around forever and it feels like he should be 33, not 25.
Yeah, they've got rid of a few big players though, haven't they? That 𝕍𝕐𝕓𝕒𝕒, that's the main one, isn't he? Sander Berge, but they've also got rid of Ender Stevens as well.
Billy Sharp would be a big loss around the dressing room, not necessarily on the
pitch. I don't know. Cameron Archer looked good the other day, to be fair. Like, scored 2, didn't he?
Well, it's the Oggy won it, but he hit the post, didn't he?
Give him that, don't you?
The Oggy.
Nunes hit the post today, but he scored really. I'd
much rather give it as a Pickford own goal, lads. Come on.
Obviously.
But I think they've done it all right, but I don't think their business has been good enough to keep them up. I think ultimately.
No, but the level they're operating at, again, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. What would you give them out of 10?
I'll give them a 6.
Where'd Mark?
5.
Where'd Tom?
5.
I'm going to give them a 6
generous
because
5.
I think Cameron Archer will be a good player for them.
It was a generous 5 as well.
Right,
I think Archer for 18 million. Sound.
Yeah. Kulusevski 25 million, Madsen 40, Ricardo 17, Solomon 3, Ashley Phillips, undisclosed, Pedro Porro 39, Mickey Van der Ven 43. Fucking hell, he's spent some money, these. I know they bought it, it's okay, like, but 𝕊𝕡𝕟𝕒𝕒𝕒 Valise, no idea who he is. Brennan Johnson 47 million. Harry Kane, 100 million. Harry Winks for 10 million. That's a good bit of business, by the way. Who else?
Getting money for him was a good
You know
deal.
what baffles me? I seen this the other day. Jed Spencer's gone out on loan again.
The kid just hasn't had a fucking game, has he?
Why did they sign him?
He's class.
Like,
Mad.
it's not even a point where
Good,
like you can say, "Oh, Conte's there now. He doesn't want to play." Like, you've got a different manager now, and Jed Spencer's quite like he can get 40. I don't get it. I don't get it.
So they went.
I never get why.
They went to send 𝕊𝕓𝕒𝕐𝕟 for 39, and then just fucking fuck Jed Spence off. It's pointless, isn't it?
This is his second loan now, isn't it?
I don't know what happened to
that pass that Porro put in for Son was brilliant yesterday.
Yeah, I think Porro's a good player. I think he is a decent player, but
I'm not saying he's not decent.
I don't get the Jed Spence loan.
People don't get a chance, do they?
I don't get why they've loaned him out. They should, if they don't want him, sell him to try and get rid of him.
Who's the backup right back? Knee one.
Emerson Royale, isn't it? And he's fucking absolutely dog shit. Like how he plays football and gets paid for it is absolutely unreal. You got rid of Tanganga as well and Regulion quite late on the window, didn't he? You got rid of. He failed to get rid of a few players. Well, he was trying to get rid of 𝕄𝕟𝕒𝕟𝕒, weren't he? And 𝕊𝕡𝕐𝕣𝕒 and 𝕊𝕡𝕒𝕒𝕒 and players like that.
The smile on Gareth's face.
Yeah, he does look.
White teeth, proper turkey teeth.
He looks like he's lying on a base.
I wish.
I look like for a pair of tits.
I think 𝕊𝕡𝕐𝕒𝕒 for 25 million is a good deal. I think Maddison for 40 million is a good deal as well.
Maddison could be the sign of the summer if he carries on the way he's going for 40 million quid.
I think Mickey van der Ven for 40. I think the one that they've overpaid for massively is probably Johnson. But at the same time, in today's market, English young talented players, consider it like Anthony Gordon went for like 40 million last year. Harvey Barnes about 40 million. Who else?
English players except his Welsh.
Oh, he is, yeah, as well, isn't he?
Who's that?
What do I mean? He's
Brendan Johnson.
40 was English.
He's still homegrown, yeah.
He's still homegrown, you know what I mean? But yeah, what would you give them out of 10?
What would you say is a better business just before we do it? And I know I've already mentioned him, but again, it's just because the comparison's quite easy between Mount for 60 and Maddison for 40.
Maddison.
Genuinely. 100%. Tom?
Even if you're paying the same price for them over the last 12 months, Maddison's been playing better.
Maddison, definitely.
So why didn't United go and get Maddison then?
Because they're different players. I don't think they're the same type of player.
They're two very different players, and there's reports of Maddison having a drinking problem.
Yeah.
And Ten Hag doesn't allow his play. Yeah, he's a big piss can.
All right.
I'll be similar to Grealish, isn't he?
That's why he didn't get in the England squad for a long time.
Never knew that.
Every day is a learning day.
Maybe I best get on the fucking pop then. I might get to turn into a Premier League player. Yeah, lads, you never know.
Just give them out of 10.
I'm gonna give them 7.5.
Go on, Tom.
I'm gonna give them an 8.
I'm gonna go 9. I think that the fact that what we've seen from them so far, they've got rid of Harry Kane for 100 million when he's got, is it a year left in his contract?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he did have anyway. Just Harry Winks selling him for 10 million deserves a 9 on its own.
Sure.
But I think
not when they spend nearly 50 million on Brennan Johnson, like definitely.
I know, but I get that, but I can like Brennan Johnson for me. If there was a move for him this summer, it was to Spurs. It feels right.
Yeah.
It feels like the next step for him, and I like I said, with the like, if someone said to me now, you could have him or Anthony Gordon for the prices that they paid you, I'd take him. Personally, I think he's a good player. I think that he will do quite well. I'd probably take Brennan Johnson over Cole Palmer as well.
Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to go 8.5 for Spurs because they managed to negotiate down the mandatory fee on Kulusevski as well. Yeah, they sent him back and said, "No, we're not having him." And it was supposed to be like 38 million euros, and
25.60 paid. Yeah,
they managed to get through.
I think in today's game as well, Kulusevski's only young, is he? He's like 24, 25 or something.
Yeah.
Like 25.6 million for a player of that quality is an absolute bargain.
Well, they got Solomon. That Solomon's decent. They got him for now.
Yeah, but you know, Ukraine getting bombed by Russia helps a little bit, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Right, We're going to go on to West Ham now. West Ham, they've actually managed to make some decent money, outside of Declan Rice. They sold Skamaka for 27.5. They also sold
11 million for Vlasic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've actually done quite well. Lanzini's gone, Masuaku's gone. They brought in Kudus for 38 million, which I think could end up being one of the buys of the summer.
He's a baller.
𝕊𝕐𝕟𝕒𝕒, 35 million as well. James Ward-Prowse, 30 million. How's his name?
Mavropanos.
Mavropanos is 19 million.
They've spent really well, West Ham.
How much have they made? They've probably spent about how much money they've made, haven't they? Like they're probably on like a break even nearly.
They've still turned a profit.
Have they?
Say 150 they've made. They've spent. Got in. Sorry.
Yeah, they brought in 114 million.
Before they've seen so far this season that they already look better than last season. I know it's hard to. I don't think you can judge teams as much in the first month of the season. I think
when it starts getting to the business end, European competitions start coming into play and stuff.
I think the end of October is when you should be having a good
squad.
Yeah, but I think they made some good signings. I think
Go on.
Eden Alvarez would have been a player I think Liverpool might have had a little look at.
We'll get a bigger move him in a couple of years.
Yeah, I think Kudus is. I think we would all probably agree that we'd probably all take him for 38 million at our clubs. Definitely. I personally would. I think he's a good player.
He's rapid.
100%.
Played a few different positions.
The only thing I'd worry about with West Ham is if there was an injury to the centre forwards. I think they could struggle scoring goal.
He can play there, like Kudus, though. He can play as a false nine.
Much Skamaka.
Yeah, I think he's a good player.
Who's Skamaka?
Skamaka was dog shit for them, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
paid like 35, 40 million for him and then sold. The fact that they got 27 for him, I think they've done all right there, to be fair.
That's what I was saying. How much did they get for him? Yeah,
27.5.
Yeah, for what they've lost in Rice for 105 million, they replaced for 65 million in Ward-Prowse and Alvarez. Yeah, they've a good central midfielder and a solid defensive midfielder.
Yeah. James Ward-Prowse has done better than what I thought as well. Yeah, I don't think he'd do as well as what he has.
I think he's a great player.
I think he's all right. I don't really rate him massively, but he's proven me wrong.
Should have been a pen to Luton on Friday, though.
Damn ball. Yeah. Right, what would you rate West Ham's window?
8.5.
9.5.
What did you say?
9.5.
Fair enough. I give them a 10. I don't think you can do it. I know people say they bring a striker in, but I think Kudus can play there. I think they've done. I know people would say be a bit more picky. He said he could have done a little bit more, but I think for what they've spent, I actually think getting rid of Declan Rice is actually a decent move from them in a sense. I think
you
don't want to play it. I don't think you want to play there that every season's going to be constantly linked to other teams and wanting to leave. And I think the fact that they got 27 million for Skamaka, I think it's a good transfer. But
Kudus got 11 goals, 3 assists last season.
Yeah, I think they've done well with the. James Ward-Prowse could be another one. Again, that could be one of the signs of the season. Right, on to Wolves. Traore 9.5, Doherty 3, Tom King 3, Enzo Gonzalez undisclosed, Bueno 10 million, Tommy Doyle on loan, and 𝕊𝕐𝕟𝕒𝕒, is it? Strasbourg to Wolves. Why have they wrote it like that?
Someone's copy and pasted from somewhere else, haven't they? If you look at the Brennan Johnson, Tottenham brought him from Tottenham.
Reading that there, my head fell off. I didn't know why they've done that. What's so funny? Man, even I've done some. Who?
That fucking plant pass.
Who?
The fucking Geordie one.
Oh, what's he done? Oh, what's he done now?
Oh, he's just being himself, I think.
Oh, I bet you when we sit there when we play TCA and Pro Clubs at night time and he's sitting in a room on his own, bet he fucking just makes himself piss laughing. Right, anyway, before we got rudely interrupted by fucking Mark there with his double chin. Mercedes Nunes, 53 million sold. Connor Cody, 7.5. Nathan Collins, 23. Jimenez, 5.5. Ruben Neves, 47 million. They've actually made a lot of money, haven't they?
From a business perspective, they've got a 10 out of 10 window. From an on-field perspective, they've had a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's no wonder Lopetegui quit.
That 𝕊𝕐𝕉𝕒𝕒, whatever he pronounces his name, like, he's a good player, to be fair. Like, but Tommy Doyle on loan just doesn't scream Premier League quality, I don't think.
No. They're going to struggle.
Doyle.
Yeah, I think they'll struggle. I reckon it's hard to say because I think, like, he looks so good against United, but I think they could struggle and finish, like, towards the bottom.
Yeah. From a financial point of view, what they've brought in this summer's been great, but like you say, from a footballing point of view, just like,
Who's the manager now that they've got now?
Gary O'Neill.
Oh yeah, Gary O'Neill. He hasn't been backed at all, has he?
No.
At all.
No, it's bollocks. No. But he didn't get chance, so did he? Even really, he was brought in 2 days before the season started.
Yeah, but there's fucking 3 weeks of the window left. 2 weeks of the
But
window.
you still got to have a look at what's there, haven't you? And a lot of the transfers that they've probably made were probably already in process when he's got in there.
That 𝕊𝕡𝕟 only got signed a few days ago, and I think that 𝕊𝕠𝕟𝕒, or whatever you say his name, only got signed a couple of days ago, didn't he? What would you give them out of 10? Incomings, I'd give them a 5. Outgoings, I'd give them a 10.
Yeah, for what they've brought in financially, it probably brings it up to about a 6 overall.
I think the fact that Connor Cody's managed to go for 7.5 million when Everton could have got him for 4 as well is kind of good business and bad business at the same time.
Good for Leicester, bad for Everton.
Yeah.
Good.
What'd you give them, Tom?
Telling you now, Connor Cody kept them up last season.
I go for a 4 because it's all well and good having all the money in the world in the bank, but if they're in the Championship, they're not going to be able to bring in Champions League captains like they did last time.
You know what else I didn't think as well? They got rid of 𝕊𝕕𝕐𝕒 and 𝕊𝕐𝕓𝕒 on free transfer. That's quite poor business. I know you can't make players sign contracts, like, but getting rid of the 2 of them. I know 𝕊𝕊𝕐𝕒 was getting on a bit, like, but quite important players, weren't they?
Right, well, Moutinho and Neves were the base of their good fortune over the last few years, weren't they? And both of them have now gone. So
that's all the teams we've ranked them. I'm going to ask you now for a couple of players that I want you to tell me. So I want to know. I'm going to ask you each individually a separate type of question. Just quickly tell me, Mark, who's your signing of the season for Newcastle?
Haven't
Saudi Airlines.
It's got to be Tonali, really, for me. Like, it's got to be. Aye.
Tom, you for United?
Amrabat.
Daz.
Szoboszlai.
Yeah, you were saying. Right, who is going to be the biggest flop of the season, Mark, in the league? Signing. Biggest flop, but they have to have signed this summer.
Havertz.
Interesting. Tom?
Got a feeling could be looking at Matheus Nunes.
Interesting.
It's a good show, actually. Like,
yeah,
I don't think he's going to play as much as he wants.
Yeah,
when he does, he's not going to be match. Yeah, he's not going to be match sharp. He's just going to end up another Philip.
What about you guys? Flop of the
Havertz is a shout, but I'm going to go for Caicedo.
That's what I'm going to say as well. Go for Caicedo.
I just think 115 million Chelsea, all those new players in 18 months' time. I might be in my words, but not this 12 months.
You have to do well if you're costing that much money, regardless of what people say, whether you should factor in the value. But I go Caicedo. Who's going to be the sign of the season, Mark? Actually, I'm going to ask you for 2. Sign of the season, value is no question. And then sign of the season, take into consideration the value. So who's going to do the best? But then who's going to be the best value signing?
this window, Mark, not fucking 2025. Come on, lad.
Garvidal.
Who, Gvardiol?
Aye.
Best signing. Okay, who's going to be the best value signing, or do you think he will be as well?
Raul Jimenez from Fulham.
Okay, 5 million. Fair play. Tom, best signing.
Diaby.
Okay, best value signing. Just for context, before you answer, the value signing doesn't mean you have to be low priced. It could be Declan Rice for 100 million. Got to be in.
Jackson.
Fair enough. Gaz,
Yeah.
best signing of the summer.
I think value-wise, I'm going to go for James Maddison.
Yeah.
And signing of the summer. I think it could prove to be. I think, like, sort of from a Liverpool point of view, I think Szoboszlai is going to have an absolutely great season. I can see it already.
Yeah.
But I think Kudos for West Ham could have a boss season.
Yeah, value. I think it's got to be Maddison, hasn't it? 40 million of what he's showing.
Yeah.
In terms of signing of the season,
I only said Diaby, like same as Tom for.
Diaby's one that keeps popping into my head. Probably go with Diaby. I think he's looked sharp so far. I didn't really get much luck today, but I think we defended quite well against them.
Selling Mitro for that money and then buying Jimenez. Jimenez is going to get you at least 10, 15 goals maybe if he gets service.
You'd hope so.
You would, so. Yeah.
Right, this is away from transfers, but I'm going to ask you 2 more questions and then I'll let you go then because it's very late and we've been recording. This was meant to be an hour long. We've been recording for 2 hours 46, but we'll knock 10 minutes off because of that. But who's going to win? In fact, 3 questions. Who's going to win Player of the Year? Who's going to win Young Player of the Year? And who is going to be the first manager outside of what's happened to be sacked? Go on, Mark. Player of the Year. Player of the Year. First manager sacked. From now onwards.
Haaland will be Player of the Season.
Yeah, young player.
Ooh. Fucking hell.
I think young player of the season's 23 and under at the start of the season as well. If that is any help whatsoever for you.
Anthony Gordon.
Okay. Tom. Player of the season.
Player of the season. Be Haaland.
I was not going to say Haaland.
It is going to be Haaland. He's going to get Haaland.
Yeah. Young player.
Depending on how he plays, I think if he can keep it up, I think Foden might get it.
That's what I was thinking as well then.
I think Foden will get it because he's going to get the run of games he needs.
Yeah. First manager to be sacked. Did you say your first manager to be sacked, Mark?
I didn't. No, sorry.
Go on then.
Gary O'Neill.
Gary O'Neill, okay. What about you, Tom? Dyche?
Yep.
Guys, Player of the Year.
Dyche, definitely.
I don't think it'd be Dyche. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know where it is. I'll have to have a think.
Love it.
Player of the Year, guys.
Don't just want to be fucking cliche and go Haaland, to be honest.
Yeah.
Haaland. I think he'll get Player of the Year. Young player.
I wonder.
Romeo Beckham. No, I'm joking. Young player.
How old's Szoboszlai?
I tell you what. I mean, I'm not going to go Szoboszlai because obviously people are
You've been piping him off all night.
I'll pipe him off all season. Lads, don't you worry about that.
He could do,
What about
he's 22.
What about Evan Ferguson? Evan Ferguson could be up there.
Good shout.
Young player.
And 𝕊𝕡𝕣𝕥𝕤 was a shout at that as well, if he can come back in form.
What about first manager to be sacked, guys?
First sacked, I think on your predictions, I said Steve Cooper, but that's probably not going to happen now, really. I could probably see Luton doing theirs, which I don't agree with, but whatever his fucking name is, they'll probably end up balling him by the end of October or something if they've only got a couple of points on the board.
No disrespect to Luton, but that's how small of a club they are. Like, we're sitting here debating on what the Luton manager's name is. What I mean, it's mad. It just doesn't feel like Luton should be in the Premier League.
He shouldn't.
Imagine being a Luton fan, though.
I know, people shouldn't it?
Unreal, man.
Yeah, but
in like fucking the conference a couple of years ago, weren't they, not long ago?
It's bots, but they're gonna have 9 months just getting fucking twatted every week.
Yeah. My player of the year, I'm gonna go a little bit different. I think Alan scored 6 goals in 4 games. That's a check, just to make sure. But I'm gonna go with Foden. And I just don't think Alan's gonna get player of the year. I've got a feeling that he's going to get injured, and I think Alvarez is going to have a good season. I think Foden's going to be insane, and I think Foden's going to win a young player of the year as well. I've got a feeling he's going to do both. I just think what I've seen for him so far, and he said the other day, like, he's playing in the role that he wants to play, and he's playing like the way he played against Newcastle. He ran the show, like literally ran the show, and it was a little bit of a minute of what he done last season against them as well. How old's Foden now? Because I feel like Foden's been around for so long. 23 years. So I don't think Foden can win young player of the year, actually. Annie, how does it work? Is it starts the season you have to be 22 or is it 23? What is it?
It's 23 and under, isn't it?
Yeah. So maybe it is. All right, we'll go for him. If he doesn't win it, 𝕊𝕡𝕥𝕤 is going to win it anyway. So, we'll just throw that out there. First manager of the season to be sacked. I think Dice could be the manager, I think he possibly could.
Said you were loving it.
You just said you didn't think it would be him.
No, I don't. Yeah, but I like thinking about it now. Like, it could be. Listen, if someone give me an option now to have a manager sacked, it'd be someone for fucking United. I don't like United. it'd be 𝕊𝕐𝕐, or it'd be Guardiola to stop them winning the league. Like, City, I don't really care about, but I don't want them to win the league because I want Liverpool to have a better chance. But ultimately, like, I think if he'd asked Man United if he could pick any manager to be sacked, he'd probably pick Klopp.
Yeah, of course he would.
You know what I mean? I don't think 𝕊𝕐𝕐 will get sacked. I think we had a conversation about this recently. The fact that they backed Ollie for as long as what they did, it'd be fucking absolute suicide if they buy so many players that Erik ten Hag wants and then to sack him. He has to have a full season. You have to give him it.
I'd say you'd have to give him longer than that.
The only scenario I can see that he might get sacked is if they're doing that bad, like 30th or 40th for the table, but I don't think that'll happen. Because as much as I don't think they're playing fantastic football at the minute, we've seen it last season, to get them 1-0 wins and that, and he will get points.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It all needs Highland to start to click. I think we're topping all the creative metrics the first 3 games. Keep that up with an actual striker, and we might get some goals.
I think the problem with United is, for me, like, that is good. That is fantastic. 𝕊𝕐𝕐 needs to do well, because if he doesn't, I think today was a little bit different. I think Eriksen done a much better job than what Mount has, but your midfield has been so easy to play through this season. It's unreal. But 𝕊𝕐𝕐's legs next to Casemiro, that could be a game changer for you as well.
Oh, massively.
It's not even just a Wolves game. It's been like pretty much most of the games where I just think like United have just looked so tired and lacklustre in midfield.
I'll tell you one thing though. Your 2 clubs have got the same chance of winning the Champions League as fucking Liverpool this year.
I reckon that we'll end up maybe seeing Newcastle come into the Europa League. I reckon we might see them come into the Europa League.
Yeah,
but yeah. Lads, I'm gonna let you jump off because I've kept you for. We started recording 2 hours 53 minutes ago, but I clicked record and then we didn't start till like 9 minutes later. I've actually wrote it down. It's been good. It's been interesting how long it's actually took us. Though I thought I genuinely the plan. For anyone listening to this podcast or watching it now, the plan for this has gone completely out the window. Me and Gareth were meant to do an hour with these and then do an hour or 45 minutes on our own and basically cut it into 2. Give us a little bit of a special and like let you enjoy, some of your mad jokes, which I'm actually going to read before we go now because I feel like I've just sat there and took 10 minutes to get some. So we've got to read them out. They only take a couple of minutes, but yeah. So what we're going to do is and I was doing this, going over the window, have a little chat about the clubs, and then we were basically going to do 45 minutes of me and Gareth doing what we normally do, answer some questions, stuff like that. That hasn't gone to plan. Instead, we've had the absolute pleasure of having Mark and Tom with us, and we've managed to see Mark have a nice little bit of pharmaceuticals as well, a nice little listen to an audio that anyone that is not watching the podcast might not know what the sucking sound was, but I'll let you decide yourself what it might be. Yeah, it's been good anyway. You'll have if you watch it, you'll have had the
It was Gareth piping off the Boswell, mate.
yeah, Gareth piping off Tom's like. Right, before we go anywhere, I just want to read out a couple of. If you listen to the podcast, you'll know that
he's from Hungary, and I'm hungry for him, lad.
Yeah, we've been doing little shitty one-line 𝕍𝕐𝕟𝕒𝕐 jokes, but again, depending on what your appetite is for a shit joke like this, you might enjoy these. But we changed it this week. We've changed from 𝕍𝕐𝕟𝕒 to 𝕍𝕐𝕏. So again, if you think they're funny, have a little laugh. If you don't, then just take the piss out of us. But the first one is 𝕍𝕐𝕏 buys gear off the Colombians. They call it Granny Montana. Gonna skip through these quite quick. 𝕍𝕐𝕏 sells her fanning at auctions. Bargain cunt. 𝕍𝕐𝕏 calls her fanny Yasmin. She's always got Aladdin. And then there's some random ones which are not really that joke, but they're just facts. And if you think about it, picture it in your head, it's quite funny. 𝕍𝕐𝕏 gives a dildo a floppy. For any context, if you know what that means, 𝕍𝕐𝕏's that ugly. She makes a dildo go soft. 𝕍𝕐𝕏's nickname is 9/11 as she's a fucking disaster. This one is actually. Oh yeah, this one's from last week. We won't read that one. It was the one that I didn't even know whether I was going to read last week. 𝕍𝕐𝕏 farted in the bathroom, drowned, trying to smell it. That's how much 𝕍𝕐𝕏 must have sniffed a fart. 𝕍𝕐𝕏 went into Superdrug and asked for heroin. 𝕍𝕐𝕏 got your 𝕍𝕐𝕟 tracking for Christmas.
True story.
You know what these are? Yeah, the proper shit, but like you have to like picture them in your head. Like again, like I said,
I was the one with the 𝕍𝕐𝕟 fucking tracky bees, mate.
Like
and the Velcro trainees.
Absolutely not. If you've got a pair of 𝕍𝕐𝕟 kecks, at the end of the day, you've got more than what someone else has got. Do you know what I mean? Someone else has got nothing. But banter in England or Liverpool anyway. If you were a kid growing up with a pair of 𝕍𝕐𝕟 kecks, you got laughed at. So if you image that in your head, it's a funny joke. Do you know what I mean? 𝕍𝕐𝕏's your dad with a bra.
Tell us about it.
𝕍𝕐𝕏 sits at the top end of the bath.
That one shouldn't be as funny as it is.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's just so stupid, but they're that stupid, they're funny.
Yeah.
Right, last one. 𝕍𝕐𝕏's fanny's called Pearl Harbor because she's had that much semen in her.
David.
Tell you what, I love these. Mark and Tom, thanks for coming on, lads. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, gents.
Can I just say a big shout out to the Wheat Chief Massive? That's all I'm gonna say.
But yeah, just like a little end to it. Like I said, this wasn't the plan for this. I'm not gonna lie, me and Gareth we're not gonna record another segment for this. This is gonna be it's gonna be pretty much a 3-hour podcast. If you listen to it to the end, you're an absolute legend. If you don't, then
appreciate the invite as well. By the way, nice to meet you, Tom, mate.
Yeah,
you too.
But, just another thing to say as well, like Tom and Mark, if you're interested in coming on again, it might not be often that we do this, but every month or so we might get like that. We could maybe do a football show once a month where we do this, where you just come on and we'll have a little chat about the footy and talk about basically just sum up the month previously. So we'll see whether people are interested in that and whether you want to do it. But if he's haven't already, make sure you check out all the socials. We normally have a nice little graphic on the screen. We're not going to be able to do this because me and Gareth are cheap cunts and we don't pay for StreamYard Premium. I normally edit something on because there's 4 of us and the logo's already on Gareth. I'm not going to bother doing it. I'm just going to keep it as it is. But yeah, the socials will all be in the description of Spotify or YouTube or on the Facebook page. Check them all out. It's been a pleasure. See you later, everyone.
Bye bye,
Take it
lads.
easy.